Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Make it clap.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to day number 3 of the PUBG Mobile Club Open Falls Play 2021, the Pakistan region, of course, brought to you by Ropo F19 Pro hashtag Woke Up Your Fun. And well, Necro, a new day, we've got new teams, and yeah, before we head on with the days and the matches, a huge shout out to Nemo.tv for being our media partner. So, Necro, coming into today's evening, we've got some exciting matches lined up. Teams from groups A and D are going to be battling it out what are your expectations?
I mean, we have big teams coming in forward. I mean, teams like Team Sky's here, and then you also did see TUF as well, full aggression mode on yesterday,
Yeah.
full guns blazing, straight up, in the arena. Then you also have teams like North Esports coming in. Now, I feel like North Esports is one of those teams who do prefer that kind of defensive nature in the game. Yeah, they can aggress if they are forced to, though.
I mean, yeah, talking about North Esports, I've got to say this because considering how their performance was, of course, in the NC, they could not really step up in the first
Yeah.
day. But today might just be the day. But let's
Yeah.
take a look at how this tournament is going to be played out. So here we are in day number 3. We've got the group stages going on, and every single group has to play 12 matches. So we have 4 matches every single day, out of which only 14 teams are going to be qualifying instead of 16 because we've got 2 invited
Yeah.
teams from this region. That's going to be I8 and Team QWERTY. So that is for a different affair, but yeah, you've got to maintain that top 14 if you want to play the finals.
Exactly. You definitely got to maintain that top 14. That's what you need an eye out for. But as I did mention, Group A and D are going to be here playing today, battling it out on 3rd day. But here is the total prize pool. This is what they're really fighting for. Of course, the first place getting 3,600, second getting themselves 2,000, and then third place getting themselves 1,600. Then pretty much it will be equally divided down till 14 and 16, where they will only get 800. And well, then later on, teams won't just be getting any money after that. But yeah, getting our facts or getting our head back in the point structure, pretty much this is what we have been seeing since a long time. Nothing really changing, it's just the classic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, nothing out of ordinary, right?
Yeah.
Apart from the teams that we have coming in, we've also got some few other announcements, which we are, of course, going to be making shortly. But yeah, the point structure, pretty much, you have to maintain that top 5 position. You've got to get some decent amount of kills in order to be really, really consistent.
Exactly. You definitely have to get decent amount of kills, but with that, of course, I feel like placement points do really matter. I mean, kill points, I do understand if you are a team like Team Clarity coming in, if you just don't really have anything in your back, you're like, all right, we don't really care. We're going to be going in full guns blazing. Take a look at the squad roster as well. Group A, of course, in front of you, lads, as I did mention, Team Sky is going to be playing in here. You also have teams like 52X Rage. Now, 52X Rage is one of those teams who have really came out of nowhere and impressed us, and 4 generation disqualified.
Disqualified, I mean, right now I'm starting to imagine, well, I mean, they were not resorting to any means, they were not so high on the point structure, but either ways, this time the bans have been of also different factors. Even if you've given wrong information, you are going to get disqualified. If someone else is logging in from your ID, you're also going to get disqualified. And talking about more disqualifications, of course, we've got for Viper. I mean, well, those shots they were taking yesterday in Erangel definitely were, of course, fishy and were hit with ban. But moving along, taking a look at the schedule, we of course have Erangel, Miramar, Sanhok and Erangel, pretty much standard. This is what we're going to be witnessing throughout the group stages at least.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is what we have been seeing throughout, as it did mention. And take a look at the overall rankings as well, just to kind of let you guys catch up to the storyline, what's actually building up till now, and take a look at that. Of course, Solo Esports on the top. They're still the table toppers here, and they are going to be playing it on Group B. That means today we're not really going to be seeing Solo anymore. But over here you have UAG TUF. Yesterday they played, and they're pretty much catched up. Let's be honest. Clarity as well is there. Clarity as well is not really going to be playing today because Clarity is in Group C. But you have Team Sky coming in. You have teams like TUF coming in. This is a massive chance for them, and even Quraysh as well. This is a massive chance for them to actually, climb up the leaderboards.
Yeah, of course, has to be, right? Considering, TUF, yesterday they started off completely guns blazing, and we started to ponder. I mean, by the second or third game, they're going to get the first spot. But that is when we did witness that dip coming in from them. Yeah. But Team Sky, I've been loving the consistency. Today, what they can focus on, however, is going to be on those skills, right? They've been really, they've been really getting those position points.
Yeah.
But yeah, kill points is something that they've been missing out on. Now, talking about Golden Stars, now this is really surprising. Look at them. They've gotten 2 chicken dinners, but again, in terms of their points that they've garnered, I mean, at the 9th spot. So quite unique, which pretty much shows that 2 games were really good. The other 2 games, they barely got any point at all.
Yeah, this is where, I mean, it's like pointing their, like doubting their consistency would as well. Like it wouldn't really be that great, right? Because they have managed to got themselves 2 chicken dinners, but then somewhere down the line, I would say maybe unlucky they got there, but yeah, they were just not really able to do that great in the rest of the games. But here we have the rest teams like Modified Max D as well. Max D, I mean, you had your eyes out for this team, so I mean, just tell me what went wrong with them.
I mean, everything. First of all, they went in really cocky. The first game, if you remember.
Yeah.
And second games, towards the last game, I think they had recovered pretty well. Rahi had done a decent job in surviving, but nothing out of ordinary was visible from Maxi, considering their recent past stint, how good they were. So today, eyes definitely will be on Asad and Rahi, and of course Kakar, as to how they're going to be playing. But at the same time, I mean, well, you talk about freestyle, they've been disappointing. So yeah, Maxed, I don't think we're going to see them today. We're going to see them tomorrow. But yeah, freestyle, Max, these are the teams that really need to step up. And you talk about Apex, the 138, 1920, and 2EZ4. Well, looks really bad. So, and there you have it again, right? 4 slots again, completely vacant. They've been wiped out, their pure existence erased from the history over here, because once you're getting disqualified, you're facing a ban for a really long time. So, yeah, I mean, we're not going to see much out of them, at least from the next few tournaments. But yes, today, I really want to see which other teams, you know, the big names or maybe the underdogs, who sort of make a comeback in day number 2.
Exactly. I mean, it's like, yeah, in the game, you do wipe out a lot of squads, but you will see them back in the other game. But if you get wiped out by the makers, you're never going to see them ever again. And this is what it's really, but head-to-head is right in front of you, lads. You also do see, I mean, TUF and Team Sky. I would say these 2 teams, yeah, played pretty phenomenal, but you can clearly see when you see in damage dealt, right? TUF has just so much damage dealt. As I did mention, they came in guns blazing, and they pretty much delivered as well. And this is what you can see also, right? 55 total points from their side.
But you know, this is where we do find a really good segregation between them. One of the teams loves going for the kills. One of the teams loves taking the position points. But then again, you know, Team Sky, it has all been about their one-man survival, right? He'd been doing so much. I believe it was Kadir, someone else. I do not exactly remember the name, but pretty much, if you can remember, he was surviving for quite a long time. So today, Team Sky needs to focus heavily on you know, those survival points, and again, those kills as well. So yeah, but if you talk about the certain teams that we really need to watch out for, has to be UNB, considering how they had such a good circle yesterday, but they still messed things up. But either ways, they've been getting decent amount of kills and decent amount of survival time also. So as a result of which, they're on the 5th spot in the overall rankings. Let's see today if they can increase the numbers.
Yeah, again, I mean, NF is one of those teams who just came in, you know, they were the one who are actually invited, but you know, expectations, I would say, they definitely weren't that much from this team. So without a doubt, NF has delivered quite well. But this also comes back to, or this also gets back to us a conversation where Solo, now we've already seen them in day 1, you know, playing that well, playing absolutely fantastic, I would say. This only just makes me imagine, right? I mean, of course, they are in the Group B, they're not really going to be playing today, but this just makes me imagine what kind of performance they would actually, you know, be shown in the future lines.
Well, we'll get to see that in the first map itself, so let's just head inside of Erangel and find for ourselves, as the big bird is, of course, in the sky all the way from starboard towards military base. I really like how, you know, the flight path has gone through. So we've got only 14 teams playing amongst this, out of which, you know, at North Esports, they're lacking on 1 player. So Zameen, the one kind of missing over here, this is really gonna, you know, hurt you. And yeah, talking about the player that was really good for NFP Sky had to be Helsi, right? The kind of survival, I mean, him and Ash, the way these 2 lads were forming those crossfires every single game, they were being consistent, really helped them out. Yeah. But now my eyes are definitely gonna be on that zone that's going to get formed, and so far, I mean, the zones that we've casted, well, Necro, been kind of unhappy because we've been getting the same zone again and again. This time, I would want something around the southern side.
Actually, yeah, exactly. Definitely. I definitely do want something around the southern side. You know, that military base, we do know teams just get so kind of caught off guard. They just don't know how to react or at least how to make those rotations happen. And usually they do get caught off guard on those bridge lines, or especially when they're swimming. That's when I feel like a lot of teams aren't really able to make it on the military island, though. But take a look at here. Team Frost have got themselves, and well, it seems like, yeah, we are going to be seeing a southern circle, but the chances of it actually shifting all the way back on the military are pretty minimal. I would say it's probably going to be one of those Miltas.
I mean, well, almost 50% inside the water area. So, I mean, I really want to see another water circle or something really ludicrous. Maybe just southern side towards Miltapa, that hilly area that we have a little bit over there, maybe. But we do have fights happening right in front of us. In fact, right off the bat, between Team 52 Rage and Team UNBNF. And we've got another scuffle happening where you've got TUF going up against Team Ivy.
Yeah, and we also do have Golden Stars. Pretty much seems like they have crossed their eyes against one lad. Okay. Well, he actually did miss a couple of shots in the start, but it's fine. Fatty being taken out the game this early off. Pretty sure his teammates are going to be a little disappointed, but I don't really know what he was doing. He's just standing still in the middle, and then he was like, oh, crap, I just realized that I need to go and loot.
This really happens when you play the game, right? Sometimes you're just too unlucky. I mean, you drop off and you have that little bit of a network issue, and you do not know where your player is. I'm pretty sure, Fatty would be absolutely furious on that particular knock. I really can feel him, but it is what it is, right? He was just an unlucky man.
Yeah.
And now we've got the players of TUF already securing 2 kills for themselves. So I think we're looking at a really slow mid-game, because considering we just have started off with 14 teams, out of which two players have already died, and North, they're just playing with 3 players. I mean, Sameen not playing, and today was sort of supposed to be their comeback story. And him missing out, I really do not like their chances.
Yeah, exactly. Especially talking about Team TUF, right? Especially when Edgar and Virus joined in, the team just completely skyrocketed. They have been looking really promising throughout. Of course, I would say Edgar and Virus are the former members of R3D. They were the one who actually do have the PMPL experience in their back as well. So, of course, you do expect domination from their side coming in through. And this is what they are doing up till now. So, as I did mention, these 2 players joining the team, it pretty much put like 5 stars on their name anymore, like literally. But getting back to a convo that we're having, Golden Stars, again, one of those teams who have gotten themselves 15 kills and then average damage of 626, and they are in the overall ranking of #9. Total points they have are 45. So I would say pretty much you can easily tell this team heavily relies on those placement points, and this team pretty much likes to play that defensive slash, pretty much try and utilize your positioning for the success.
I mean, Golden Stars will have sort of been a hit or miss team, right? Either they go completely big or they completely, crap their pants. So they have to find a line between that, right? They have to find consistency. And yeah, I mean, like we were talking, just 14 teams amongst us, and well, this is a good chance, a good day for Team TUF, and they've finally taken the lead over Solo. Of course, the one team which is not playing today. We'll see them in action tomorrow. But for now, I think crown holders. I really liked how they played that one game, and we've got an Ocean amongst us.
We've got Ocean amongst us.
Ocean must be happy.
Yeah,
or maybe really angry. Someone's just using the same name.
I would say he might. Yeah, no, I would say he might be a little angry there, because it's like, you would like to have your name your own exclusive. You would like to have your exclusive name. So we might just see these 2 Oceans battle it out 1v1 anytime soon. Maybe.
I don't think I'll ever find another Fixes. It's unique.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just not.
I mean, you have to low-key agree, right? Fixes. Sexy. Yeah. And even Necro, come on. Your name's pretty unique as well, but not Ocean. It's quite generic if we've got
Yeah.
already 7 of them in the real world existing. But, well, let's get back to the virtual world around us. So, nothing much happening over here. We've got the players of Team Execute. So, they were sort of surprising yesterday, I must say, at the very least. Getting a few decent games, but nothing really out of this world, right?
Yeah, nothing really like eye-catchy, I would say. Execute, yeah. I mean, they had their shiny moments, I would say, but still, I mean, not really. Take a look at their kill points, right? They only have like 8 kills for themselves, average damage of 609. So it seems like Execute, they still have a lot of things to work on. And, I mean, especially as you did mention, only 14 teams, top 14 teams from here will be moving on to the regional finals. So you need to keep this in mind as well. Your main kind of priority is to at least get top 14. Of course, main should be to actually get top 3, but if you're just not really able to make it there, then main priority, without a doubt, it should be to at least get top 14 because you need to make your mark in the regional finals. On the other hand, you have the squad of 1920 with only 3 lads in the game. That's definitely going to be affecting them quite a lot. Let's just see what kind of game plan they have, right? So it just affects so much. Imagine you have 4 players in the squad and now you only have 3. And just because of that, the strategies that you've planned with 4 lads, and now you will have to execute them with only 3. That's like already such a tough task.
Indeed it is. And for 1920, it has sort of been continuing since yesterday, right? Considering they haven't really stepped up on board. I mean, staying at the bottom half of the table, I really did not like their gameplay yesterday. And we also had a discussion about it, right? Where we did come to a conclusion that they need to start with at least having 4 players in the game. You have 1 extra slot, and if the other player is not available, might as well register players who can show up for games. And this sort of has been the problem, you know, with a lot of teams. And it happens quite often in the Pakistan region itself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Especially these days, we have seen a lot of squad with only playing like 3-man roster. And considering the fact that you only have 3 men, 1 man has already been down, almost on the verge of getting completely eliminated. Well, you need to save him out, 1920, because at this point, that lad is really important for you. This is what Alivop is as well doing. He pretty much drives right next to him, stops the vehicle. He's pretty much taking the res as well, but the nades are lobbed in from the side of NF. They're not going to let that happen. And yes, nade to perfection. Find that knock right under him. Alivop now pretty much being knocked out. Raza trying his best to fight back in this situation. But NF as well, they're giving a tough fight to him. And instead, Alivop pretty much walks out in the open. He will be finished as well. The final man falling down. And now you have the 1 last lad alive from the side of 1920. This is such a downfall of having only 3 lads in your squad. Well, they were just really not able to fight back in that situation. Even they tried to get the rest back, but because of that smoke, it got instantly. So, correct me if I'm wrong here, right? Especially if you do know one of your lad is kind of knocked behind some cover. I feel like you should at least use 2 smokes and try and like smoke one part where your teammate is there, and the other smoke right next to it to at least spread the area out and keep the opponent guessing, oh, have he moved or has he not?
I mean, well, you need 2 smokes, maybe more than that. But yeah, if depends upon the situation, right? Ideally, we go for 1 body smoke and 1 part smoke, right? Just you know, make sure you've got a good path so that you can get to your teammate, and then a smoke, well, to get him back up on full HP. And that I'm saying on under ideal circumstances, right? Usually, if you know, if your teammate gets knocked out right in the open, then there's very slim chances you can save him unless in a competitive lobby, because well, players are going to be, you know, just bashing you down with a lot of grenades, with a lot of bullets. They're going to not let you live. And the MG3 LMG, I absolutely love that gun. I haven't had you know, the chance to play this game for more than a year right now, and yesterday I think I was just playing with you guys, and I realized the true potential of this weapon. This is so freaking good.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, the fire that it delivers at the same time.
The 2 modes.
Yeah, the damage as well. It's absolutely insane. And considering the fact that it's an LMG, that's insane in itself. But you also do have NF now. Ghost of course, was down low, going to be healing himself back up. Up till now, we don't really see anything like crucial or anything critical happening on the game. You do have North Esports lad as well. It seems like they're not really going to be moving. As I did mention, North Esports is one of those teams who do like to play their defensive style of gameplay, and this is what they're exactly doing. Found themselves a house, pretty much going to be sitting inside it, not really going to be moving out there, but hey, here we have NF unloading their max, unleashing hell against Apex, but it seems like not really a lot of connection being found in that kind of a moment, and here we do clearly see, it seems like Max doesn't really have his M4 completely maxed out with those attachments. That's why Spray was a little shaky from his side. But hey, it's fine. You know, Apex, at least they managed to kind of scare them away or shook them away. But still, I feel like in that moment, they should have at least been able to deal a decent amount of damage, because all the labs were completely focused on that single rotation that was being made from Apex, and they weren't even able to kind of blow up a single vehicle.
I mean, the way things are going on, right? We're sort of witnessing the team sort of hitting bullets at each other, but nothing really substantial coming out. We're still in that phase where it was sort of anticipated, right? The mid games were going to be sort of a little bit slow, and that is exactly what's happening. But UNB and F, they've been off to a good start. I've been liking 2 kills already, Coast, having spotted the players of Quraysh out. And we do remember how explosive can the players of Quraysh really get, right? Once they sort of have picked up the pace. But now, 52 Rage. Well, again, this is one of those teams that sort of had been consistent the last time they'd come in. So I'm going to expect some good things, but still in pursuit for the chicken dinner.
Yeah, but for now, I don't really like their position. Look at that. They're out in the open, and, well, there's a massive chance that you might just be capitalizing or getting capitalized from the back line. So you need to watch out. Yeah, we do see a 2-2 split coming in. As I did mention, you might just be capitalized from the back lines, and you did see one more team in the minimap, and yes, that's going to be Team Sky. You need to watch out from a team like Team Sky, because they might just take you down if they see you or if they spot you in their sight. But take a look at the circle shift as well. Pretty much as expected, as I did say, this might just be one of those Milta circles. And yes, this is what it's really going to be. I feel like this circle is probably going to be forming around the open areas.
Bashi spraying down, peppering down those bullets, and UNBNF, well, they're working with these lads. They've managed and escaped. All right, I think Max might just be in a dicey situation, but Murtaza getting knocked out. Klaus will make no mistakes in finishing him off, and finally, Necro Max has been taken down, but Bashi not a good HP either, but he will for sure patch himself up.
You definitely will be patching himself up, but again, do you have Ghost? He does realize, so I feel like at this point in time, you do see the fear in the eyes of Ghost. Ghost, though, still is trying to fight back in this moment. He has managed to connect a few shots, but nothing critical, as I did mention. For now, it seems like Apex is definitely doing a lot of damage on the lads of QE. Mani being taken out, that was the kill leaders, if I'm not wrong. And Mani, a big man, being taken out the game, or at least being knocked out. That's going to be handicapping QE by quite a lot. Bilal is right next to him. There's a massive chance that he might just get the rest back onto him, though. But Apex, they are challenging a lot of fights at the same time. A lot of fights are being challenged from their side single-handedly. They're also challenging QE, and they're also challenging NF. Now, there is a brighter side for this. If you are actually able to get or rack up a lot of kills at this point in time, then yeah, of course, you might just be, you know, one of those teams who actually do make a lot of heroic plays happen. But if you're one of those teams who are not really able to kind of connect your shots in that long range, I feel like it's your time to know that, okay, maybe we should stop.
Yeah, you've got to do that. But, you know, considering how UNBNF just dashed in through, I really did not kind of like their way they took that position, right? Of course, it was a huge gamble, but had there been any other team, every single player would have been shredded. But Team Frost, well, as a 4-man squad, Klaus is actually going into the push at any single moment. It's interesting how Frost have been so aggressive. They've managed to get that knock onto the Skyro. They will, of course, secure the kill. And this is the right way. Zen's even down. It was all on that last one player, Faster, who basically is just going to get engulfed from every single possible direction. And, well, they're basically done.
As I did mention, they're basically pretty much done. But 2F again in front of us. Also do have, it seems like they have found themselves quite a safer compound, I would say. Play zone pretty much going to be taking one lad of Frost. I mean, at least going to be knocking him out. And again, another knockout there. Unfortunately, the play zone is being quite merciless on the lads of Frost, but they also need to realize that, okay, maybe it's our go time. They need to move in. It's already been quite a long time, and this is kind of like the disadvantage of making those late rotations happen, but they do also have the advantage. If you are making those late rotations happen, you should at least have, like, I would say 70% of infos where a team have positioned themselves, and then only those late rotations do actually come into play. But for now, it seems like Team Frost are pretty much not really having the time of their life. And QE as well, they did realize they were under heavy pressure. Finally moved out from their initial contact they had for themselves, and now they're pretty much trying to find themselves that comfort level.
I mean, right now, considering how this zone has really panned out, Necro, Team UHG2F, I kind of like their chances, but Avenger being taken down. Team Apex is definitely doing a pretty decent job over here, getting quite a lot of knocks, but now they've got to make it inside the circle. So that's going to be a little bit tricky, but then again, they are going to take their chances. Well, finally, Team Apex, they're making a move for themselves, and Avenger, he's just going to get the rest back up at any single possible moment. So TUF, they're sort of oblivious about Apex just leaving this area, this vicinity, and they've headed inside the zone to a better place where they're looking at the bigger picture over here. But taking a look at Thor, indeed has spotted out Kelsey. The hits, they take a few shots though, but kind of missed.
Yeah. We're not really able to find any connections. On the other hand, though, Edgar managed to find himself enough. That's going to be helping them quite a lot. And oh my god, just with that random spray, Thor connects that headshot. I would say that was not really kind of calculated there. It was just the recoil from the DB actually hidden. And the headshot actually came in through as well with that. On the other hand, you also do have UAG2F over here. DP, I would say, yeah, in that range, I would pretty much like to tap that, but still, I would say the horizontal recoil sometimes does hit it, and it just really depends on if you do find an enemy out in the open, then I feel like, yeah, it does make sense to spray, but in these kind of windows, I would say tapping is the best option.
Yeah, I mean, of course, and DP being one of those weapons that has been really golden, you know, exclusive to this particular map, and the way these teams have been playing, well, they certainly know how to use this gun. But right now, taking a look at, well, Team Apex, right in front of them, we've got 1920's Raza. And, all right, we've got a little bit of a backstory over here. Apparently, it's the same Raza from Team 247. Very infamous that they've been, you know, one of those teams that have even made it for the PMPL. We had seen them that pulled off some really, really amazing plays. But today with a new banner, they've come in. I really want to see. They've been sort of silent from the very start. You know, yesterday also they've been sort of silent. And with Raza in your team, well, you do know, right? You can expect some bigger things from him.
Yeah, you can definitely expect some bigger things, but up till now, he hasn't really been able to deliver those bigger things, that's for sure. Maybe just the pressure kicking in, but here we have Apex missing a lot of crucial shots, and, well, I'm pretty sure they're going to be quite disappointed themselves after that one because the rotation was being made right next to them. 3 vehicles passed by, and they weren't able to connect a single shot onto them, onto the enemy line, so that is definitely, without a doubt, a little bit of disappointing. But here you do have TUF as well, finally making that rotation happen. But Raza, as I did mention, finally strikes in Apex. One man being taken out instantly will be confirmed as well. And Raza is holding his position so well. He's not moving a single muscle. He as soon as any kind of teams make a mistake, pretty much strikes in, finds himself a knock, then pretty much try and go back in his position, and that's what he's really doing. Just using that TPV to perfection. But here we have TUF as well, getting caught off guard in that rotation. 1 kill will be pretty much confirmed from their side. NFP Sky were the one on the receiving end this time, but TUF, hey, the damage has been done. Thor is not really in the game anymore, but Virus as well, going to be falling the fray up. But hey, the res is being stuck onto him instantly.
Yep, right now, I mean, TUF in a very dicey situation. If the buggy explodes, it's a whole team just, being blown up into smithereens. And Raza has done a pretty decent job surviving for so long all by his lonesome. But how long can he do that? That's a big question over here. But right now, considering the players of UAG TUF, gonna see as to how they're gonna play. Deadshot. Just playing from the ridges. You've got UNB and EF. Now this is one of those teams, right, who really excel in how they position themselves. Yesterday as well. But towards the very end, they kind of choke down a little bit, and we've got a sugar daddy amongst us. Wow. Nice names.
Oh, well, that's definitely not really nice for Ghost there. Nade blasting right on his face, and TUF, it seems like they're charging it through this time. They're not really going to let anyone go. Straight up charging on the lads of NF, and they do realize now, NF, things are really not looking great. Even the zone is pretty much going to be taking him out the game as well, so zone damage is going to be really lethal at this point in time. And this is what TUF is really using that for their advantage, because they do know NF doesn't really have a lot of breathing space, and this is what the complete squad of TUF is pressuring on. And that nade bounced right next to Avenger, and he walks into it as well. His teammate is there in the clotheslines, but hey, let's just see if he's going to be utilizing that smoke to get himself some cover and then get Avenger back on his feet. But it seems like up till now, that really hasn't been the intentions. NF doing a great job fighting back in that situation, and it seems like Ghost was almost on the verge of being taken out by the zone, and finally he's back up as well. That's good.
That is good, but I really do not know what they're going to do, because they've got to get inside the circle, and in 3 seconds it's going to start closing in. And look at Team Execute. They've sort of been surrounded from two sides at the very least, right? North Esports having a very good position, despite the fact they're a 3-man squad. Now Eraser does get the better of Tosif as he knocks him down, and we've got Edgar finally knocking down Coast again. Klaus at very little HP, he's got to close in. Now, well, taking a back step, it's not going to help the cause, and there you have it. Team Frost also taking an exit from over here, and North Esports, they're playing a pretty decent, have a really good position, and now even the players of TUF are slowly but surely starting to step up.
North hasn't moved an inch. They have been in a single compound since the start, and the zone kept on following them. Now, this also reminded me of one more team in the regional finals. If you remember Log 1 back in the day, this was the same kind of thing happening with them. The zone just kept on forming upon them, and this is what exactly is NEF reminding me of right now. There we do also have TUF now. They do realize that NES is right in the front lines, but hey, we do see that MG3 finally being utilized. And that's going to be pretty much confirming the kill for himself. Now, Crown Holder as well do realize there is one more team right in the front lines. And it seems like Rosa had finally fallen down. Kind of missed that action there. Nade's being utilized from their side. Tosif as well, pretty much down low. Nade should be confirming that kill. Yes, it does. Bashi as well is knocked out. It's all down to that one last man alive. And it's going to be X-Man.
Yep. Now, Crown Holders have done a pretty decent job in fending the players of Team Apex off, and X-Men is going to make a last-ditch effort up to the point where Razor just wipes him down, and TUF getting the better out of teams. 9 kills already, so having a really good start, and Edgar, the man behind all the good job. But Team Execute, look at Team Ivy and Golden Stars.
Oh my god. This might just be so awkward, right? Dr. Fate does know someone is right above him. But I feel like in this fight, Dr. Fate definitely has an advantage because he has an MG3 in his hand, and he might just beam anyone out the game with that fire rate or insane fire rate it has. Dr. Fate now does know 33 AK is right above him, but he just doesn't really know how to approach this entire situation because he does know if he steps out of his cover, he will be instantly mowed down by so many players that are right in the front line. Same thing is there. Golden Stars, there is a 2-1 split coming in through. That means 33 AK is pretty much trying his best to communicate with his teammates. And look at that smoke grenade. I feel like that's a little bit of miscalculation from his side, unfortunately, on that window frame. And you do also have the lads of Execute Execute right in the front lines. It's going to be Mukunter.
Wow.
But hey, finally steps in through, and that's going to be it for Execute. The last man alive, Mukunter, is not really going to be seen or visible in the game anymore. Crown holders, though, pretty much charging on the last of Golden Star, and they're not really going to be following that sky. But he also does have the Uji in the close range, and Ocean not really able to make the best out of it.
Yeah, I mean, a play that Ocean would any day make, right? Just going in with his eyes blindfolded and being completely unaware. And that's how he got taken down. And I'm talking about your lovely caster, Ocean. He makes even bigger mistakes. And again, that one mistake completely just wiping him off from this one game. But now we've got our final 3 teams, right? And ouch, crown holders, quite an unfortunate exit, and the credit of course goes to Dr. Fate, who now apparently stands in a 1v3 situation, still manages to find Virus though. Edgar and Avenger need to make the move, and yes, he's got that MG3 Necro. If he can get that 990 burst, he's good to go. Maybe he can clutch it out.
Definitely can
One
clutch
more
it out. Let's see how things are really going to be looking like here for Dr. Fate. Oh, peeks out. It does realize Avenger as well is playing this so safe. Like, you're not really seeing that overconfidence being shown from the side of TUF. Just playing the situation perfect. Smoke grenade being locked to kind of block his vision off. That means it should have given them time to push in. But that was kind of a fake. That smoke grenade what made him think like, oh, that's an actual frag grenade, but it was just a smoke grenade coming through. And TUF, again, a banger of a win with 13 kills. That's going to be giving them 28 points in total and damage dealt of 2,164.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you talk about this one particular team, right? Now, this is not the first time they're doing a similar thing. Yesterday also coming in, it was a 16-kill chicken dinner, if I'm not wrong. Today they've ended with 13. And we do know, we've sort of had the same discussion of TUF really enjoying the map of Erangel. But this time, I mean, it's not luck anymore, right? Yesterday, 2 of the circles that we had were sort of around that George Paul area where, you know, where TUF used to always hold on towards that Everest Hill. But today was a completely different case. Now, today was not really an easy ride for them. They had to go through so much difficulties, and despite that fact, they somehow, you know, again managed to win. And we're sort of getting used to them getting so many games for themselves. But yeah, props to, of course, Team Ivy, right, to surviving till the very end. And in that one last fight, after that first knock, Avenger, of course, had to delay the time, right, for his teammate to get right back up. That is the moment I really felt that he should have struck, because he had nothing to lose over there in that situation.
Yeah, as you did mention, he had nothing to lose over there in that situation, without a doubt. But hey, let's take a look at the MVP as well, and let's find out who that man is going to be, or who was having the game of his life. And it seems like, well, this time it has to, as I did mention, I was about to say it has to be someone from TUF, and he was Edgar.
Yet again.
Yet again. I mean, Edgar, this man just delivers. As I did mention, his ex-team was R3D, right? And they do have the PMPO backup, without a doubt. So, Edgar and Virus, these 2 lads, I'm expecting greatness out of them. And since they have joined this team has just skyrocketed.
Yeah, I mean, Edgar, again, he's even in the first game yesterday, he was the MVP with similar number of kills and almost similar amount of damage. So we know that this player does have the potential. Now, Virus can't really be far behind, right? He had to be there with his teammate. Now, North Esports really had a good position inside the circle for quite a long time, but I really liked how Dr. Fate played this one. Now, Team Frost, again, is one of those teams that sort of is really overwhelming in the start. They tend to force a lot of fights out, which sort of bites them eventually towards that late mid game, where they do not really have the numbers, they do not really have the players to fight and survive for long enough. But taking a look at the match summary, again has to be dominated majorly by UAG, and we've got UNBNF and Crown Holders. So Eraser using the maximum utilities over there.
Exactly, as I did mention, Eraser utilizing those maximum amount of utilities, getting himself 16 kind of utilities used. Then you also have Ghost with 230. And well, taking a look at the match ranking as well, you also have UAG TUF, of course, the winners of that previous game. Then you have Crown Holders Crown Holders and Ivy have been so consistent. Crown Holders, I would say, yesterday they got themselves a chicken dinner as well, and throughout the day, I feel like they were doing quite decent. I would really say they were doing good. They were doing decent, I would say, and today as well. I mean, starting the day off on a decent note.
Yeah, I mean, considering how the day has started, of course, Crown Holders and Ivy, we're gonna expect bigger things from them. Now, there's also something good from Golden Stars we got to see, but again, they've been getting those position points. Kills is where they're completely lacking up. And now Team Sky, not really the kind of first game they would have anticipated for themselves. Really did get caught in a very bad situation. Could not really do much. Now 1920, I mean, Raza was surviving for quite some time, but along with Team Apex, they had to get in and were eventually just wiped out. 52 rage. At the last time they played in Erangel, they were really phenomenal, but today we could not see a lot out of them. But right now, let's take a look at the open moments for this particular map and find for ourselves this little start. Fatty. I mean, at a point he realized, okay, he sort of messed up, and till then it was just too late.
Yeah, it was too late. He was like standing still in the grass, and you're like, oh crap, I realized I need to loot, right? That's why he just starts running, and then Edgar's right there, just waiting with his AKM and red dot. I mean, considering the fact that he actually found that AKM that early in the game with a red dot as well, it's just so lucky. I'm usually getting myself a pistol. But yeah, getting back our heads.
You would please get a pistol. Okay. You remember what happened to me yesterday, right?
Yes, I do.
Twice.
Oh my god. Getting our head back in the Oppo F19 for a moment. You do have Ocean. Yep, pretty much a massive mistake being made from his side. If you do actually want to push inside the compounds, don't vault in. Especially if you don't really know if it's clear. Never vault in through a window. Because vaulting means you are in the animation of vaulting and you just can't use your gun.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you should be doing over there in that kind of a situation is first scour that area. Make sure there's no one on that ground floor of that ZARAR over there. That is something that he should have done.
He could have jump spotted, yeah.
Yeah, he could have done a lot of things. But then again, it was in the heat of the moment. Maybe he just was feeding himself, went in, really thought could have ended him out. Yeah, the adrenaline really kicking out. And we have it, TUF taking the first spot from Solo Esports. Now, they are going to be building up their lead, but this is something that we were speculating yesterday as well. But you talk about, climbs. Look at how massively have Golden Stars stepped up from 9th to 3rd position. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, consistency you would talk about, Golden Stars definitely delivering. Now, on the other hand, North Esports are on their way, I would say. Would really like to point a lot of things on, especially when it comes to them. But on the other hand, though, 52x Rage inside this game weren't really able to do that good. So that's why they pretty much moved down from their initial position they had. Also do have teams like Max D coming in all the way back on 17. Now they were on 16 just because teams moved in forward. Now Max D being thrown down as well. This also shows Execute and Team Frost are also on a climb, but from that first leaderboard, I would say they're miles away.
Yeah, they certainly are. The way things are going for freestyle, we'll get to see them in action tomorrow. Yeah, along with Max. But 1920 Esports, I'm starting to get concerned about them because after this they're gonna hit that half matches played mark, and this is exactly where you're not supposed to be in. You have to be contending for the top 14 spots, and hasn't really worked out the way they've wanted so far.
Yeah, and considering the fact that you have to get top 14 and already 4 teams are not in there, that means it should at least like release a bit of burden from their shoulders, I would say. Yeah, not a lot, but just like a teeny tiny bit of burden, it should be released from their shoulders. 1920, well, all the way on the bottom page here, including 138 and then 2 easy 4 as well. So things are still looking quite shaky, I would say, for 1920. They are miles, they're way far away from that first page of the board. And as I did mention, first page is what really matters. Considering the fact what really went down in that previous game, I would say North Esports just got really lucky with the zone.
Well, they did, but they could not really capitalize on that a lot.
Yeah,
right?
true.
You did get eliminated at the 6th place. That is something that happened. But again, they will have to get their last play. They will need to have Zameen in the playing roster right now. But what we're gonna do over here is go for a short little break, because coming right up is the map of Miramar.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2021. Of course, the Pakistan region brought to you by Oppo F19 Pro. Hashtag hook up your fun. And, well, Necro, the first game, of course, TUF, like anticipated, like they've been known or rather famous for doing. The first game, yes, they got the chicken dinner. But again, now the question remains, in the second game, can they repeat the same stint, or are we witnessing something completely new?
I would say, yeah, we would see them dominating, but I don't really feel like they're going to be getting the chicken dinner.
So
I would say,
pick a
because
team.
look, Team Sky, I would say Team Sky. Because in the Erangel game, completely silent, nowhere to be found. The only time we saw them were them rotating, and that's the only time we saw them on the screen. Take a look at the schedule as well. Group A and D, of course, now the second map will be played on Erangel. As we all do know, after this, we'll be on Sanhok and then Erangel back again. But we have Miramar now in front of us. So Of course, on the map of Miramar, as I did mention, Team Sky, there's a massive chance that they might just pull it off, but I feel like the way North Esports really play, especially considering the fact that they're on their positions. But yeah, with that being said, let's first head into the game and then we'll keep on continuing our convo. So, as I did mention, North Esports is one of those teams who likes to utilize their positioning to perfection, especially considering the fact that knowing it's the map of Miramar, you would want to know that positioning is really important on this map.
Well, I mean, right now taking a look at things, we've got the flight path trajectory heading from La Drillera towards Impala. So we've got 14 teams, but this time Zameen has joined us. So that's a good news, and North is one of those teams that really flourishes. And talking about absentees, of course we've got Dubai, I believe, missing from Quraysh, and well, 920 have been playing as a 3-man roster right from the very start of this tournament, especially in fact from the group stages.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they've been playing, with just a 3-man roster throughout. And, well, BYP Elites as well are there. One of those teams, definitely in my eyes, would be out there for them. Golden Stars, though, they have been more kind of like the silent assassins, where they're not really able to get themselves a lot of flashy plays, but still the consistency is being shown from their side. They are still the table toppers, I would like to call them. They are one of the, you know, teams that are on the top. Circle being formed a little bit north side and a little bit tilted to the right. Junkyard and Graveyard are in the center lines, and I do want to see how teams are going to be playing around this circle. I feel like I've seen this circle.
Yeah, pretty much a similar circle to what we witnessed the day before.
Yeah.
I think a similar circle at that. So it's going to be interesting how the teams are going to capitalize. And like we had anticipated, right, it's going to be a rather slower game. From the early game onwards, the late mid at least, because again we're having for just 14 teams, and we've got the 2 teams with just 3 players, but we've got some gunshots near us, and it's going to be between Team Frost and Golden Stars. Now, Golden Stars really had a good game last time, right? They're on the 3rd spot, but this time their start hasn't really been the way they had anticipated for themselves.
Well, I would say that's just the caster curse coming in through.
Yeah.
I said they are one of the most consistent teams out there, and as soon as I say that, one man just falls down. I'm really sorry, Golden Stars, for that one. But hey, getting our head back now. Frost, it seems like they're finally on a hunt. They're not really going to let Golden Stars go away, because they do realize Golden Stars are pretty much empty-handed. They don't have any guns left in their hands, or they just don't have any guns anymore. Ash, though, take a look at this man. Swims in the water. Raza and the entire squad of 1920 are looking forward to actually take him out of the game. Lewis spotted, and oh no, vehicle approaching Lewis. This is not really good. Golden Stars, you are about to have another casualty on their name. A little bit stunting being shown as well. That's quite wicked. But Lewis now out in the open, nothing much can be done. I feel bad for Lewis. Oh my god. Cruel people, Team Frost.
I mean, they had nothing really to... I mean, Lewis did not really have anything to save himself, and all he could do was just meet his makers, and yeah, has finally been taken down. Now, this is one of the good things about Team Frost, which is again one of the things that has caused them in getting eliminated really early, right? They overextend a lot, and this sort of aggression at a certain point, yes, it is good. It comes handy, but every single time it does not work out the way you want it. And it sort of reflects even on the overall standings, right? I mean, they haven't really been doing too well. They come in, they get some initial few kills, that's just about it. Take a very early exit. Now, if they can combine that with some decent number of positioning, like they do have 2 kills in the belt, and if they can sort of survive till the end zones and maybe get 6-7 more, we're looking at a really good position for them.
Yeah, considering the fact that I'm also one of those aggressive players, and I really do know what does go through their mindset, I would say you shouldn't really aggress in forward where the chances are 50-50, right? You don't really know if you're going to be the one winning or if the other team is going to be the one winning. The chances should at least, the odds should at least favor on your side heavily. But still, I'm a kind of a player, even though I know I'm like there's a massive chance of me losing as well, I'm a kind of player I just don't really care. I just trade the Russian side. Maybe that's the thing going on with Frost, but yeah, as you did mention, they need to realize that Finally, it's time to wake up and take things a little bit more serious and take it to the next level. Is what they will definitely have to do. M249 being dropped from his side. Why are you not picking that up? Yep, as I did mention, finally picks it up. He does realize, I mean, that gun is just absolutely insane. Imagine, Fixes, you are a player in the map, you're pinned down behind one thing. Okay, well, hold on. Mirza seems like did spot one lad off execute. Muqaddar stops his buggy in the open, but still missing a lot of shots there. Mirza not really looking great, especially with those whiffs. Muqaddar lobs in an 8 right next to Mirza, but Mirza still staying alive up till now. Muqaddar, another nade being lobbed in from his side, but missing that window.
Yeah.
Execute. I also do like how slow Muqaddar is playing over here, but yeah, as I did mention, as I was getting back to the convo that I was having over here, imagine if you're just pinned down behind a little tree and the guy has an M249 with like 150 bullets in his magazine, and he just keeps on spamming. You're just not able to peek out in any other direction.
Now look at this. Fighty not really having the best of HP now. 52 Rage. They've got the cavalry, but faster.
Third person.
Can he get that knock? And right now Murtaza is also going after Muqaddar. Muqaddar
my
gets
God.
one, but eventually it's going to be Zen who trades him off over there as Team Execute. The cavalry has arrived. Arslan going in for the push. Zen needs to be prepared. Already taking some hefty amount of damage, and Arslan getting a shot right on his head. Does not have the best of HPs in Cairo. He's in a different planet of his own. And Zen and Murtaza, both of them have fallen over here.
Oh my God, it's complete hell breaking loose in this initial little compound here. Execute pretty much coming out on top inside here. Cairo does realize, well, how is he supposed to save his teammates? So pretty much staying back in that initial positioning or in that initial place that he has is probably the best thing you can do at this point. Arslan as well finds himself a kill, and while the damage is already being dealt on the side of 52X Rage, Cairo is last man alive. Rest, all the lads have been pretty much taken out of the game as well, so that's not really looking that great. 52X Rage, well, again, I don't really know how things are going to be looking like for them in the front lines, but let's just hope for the best, because now 52X Rage are slowly and steadily crumbling down. And I would say on the day one, they had made quite a massive mark for themselves in my heart, but the way things have been starting off on this day, on the day 3, I would say the spot is slipping away as well. But on the other hand, in El Hazahar, you have 2 teams. That's going to be Team Sky and 1920. It seems like Team Sky isn't really interested in fighting 1920 anymore, so completely backing off from that. And, well, Ash is there all the way in the back line, so we see a split coming through, but not with the intention of actually harming anyone.
Yeah, I mean, considering how this circle has really formed, it's nothing's out of ordinary, right? We've sort of seen this circle a lot, and well, this sort of ends up somewhere around the northern areas of Junkyard, around the hills around it. And now 1920 is right beside Team Sky, so it's going to be really interesting. And the way things have started for them, well, they still have all 4 of their players alive. But Team 52 Rage, not really being able to choose between a good fight. They took 2 fights at the same time, so yeah, it was a bit troublesome. Now taking a look at well, 52 Rage and North, we've got a fight breaking out over there. Got Eraser from Crown Holders. Now Crown Holders also did have a good game, right? Now Cruel and Blaze, well, we're gonna see as to what might possibly happen. So let's see. In fact, Crown Holders, they're just backing off.
Yeah, while rotation, they're also taking hefty amount of bullets on their vehicles, but hey, it's fine as long as they're not really getting bullets on their own body. That's what really matters. Golden Stars, I mean, already handicapped inside the game early off. That's going to be not really going to be that great for that consistency they have been maintaining throughout. Let's see if they're actually going to be able to maintain it again. But North Esports this time, Zameen, the man who actually got back, it seems like he is going to be sent back instantly. He is knocked out, and Cairo now pretty much wants to confirm the kill for himself. And North Esports, Daku, well, Cairo, I feel like he should have went for the confirmation rather than pushing the lads that are alive.
Yeah. Right now, you know, we're kind of witnessing a few of the teams trying to take a few shots and then sort of backing off. And, well, right now, team BYP, they've got a good position, having holding the center of the circle. But the first airdrop comes in, and we've got the Groves are in front of us, and North Esports are in good contention of actually going for it. I mean, this is one of the weapons I would never miss out on. But now, as we can take a look at things happening in front of us, I really like how the players of QE, rather Quraysh, are playing. I mean, Impala, there's no one even nearly around them, but TUF just playing from the edges. Now we know this is one of those teams that loves to get a lot of kills for themselves. I really want to see as to how are they going to perform in this particular match. Can they get a back-to-back? Because that's yet to happen in the PMCO.
So I did mention back-to-back. Can they get it? I would say, yeah, they might. Yeah, they definitely do have the caliber, if you ask me. Like, without a doubt, they have way much more than it needs. Now, airdrop being taken from the side of North Esports, and that's going to be the Groza finally being taken from their side. So that's quite great. I would say I just want to see some flashy plays coming in through with that Groza, because it's just so like damaging, I would like to say, because in the close range it's just completely shreds. Same thing goes in mid ranges as well, and you can also utilize Groza with pretty much like a 6 times. You can just unscope, like scope it back up and make it a 3 times, and it is quite deadly as well, even in mid ranges. But here we do have Golden Stars now. While the teams that are trying to make the rotation, that's going to be Apex again. Apex all the time. They're able to get away with those risky rotations, man. How?
I have no clue. I have no clue. Even in Erangel, I mean, kind of cojones. But now, we've got to see if against Golden Star, they can manage unscathed. It's going to be really difficult. But we've got just the 2 lads from Golden Star surviving. I mean, it's going to be AB and Oxy. So, well, both of them have optimal HP to engage. And this is where we're talking business, right? The second airdrop coming in, that has to be the AWM. And, you know, the sound coming off from the barrel after the shot, it sort of echoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact it's still a desert, scientifically it should not happen, but it still does.
Yeah, I mean, just the sound itself, it just gets you kind of panicking, you know. You're like, oh, freak, if I just peek out in the wrong direction, my head just might be popped instantly. Or even if you do get hit on a body, it just still does such an insane amount of damage. And especially if you do just have low on West, that means you got to say goodbye to yourselves when you do get hit with that. But here you do have UNBNF as well in Minas Generalis. They need to move inside. That's what they're pretty much trying to do here, but seems like up till now they have just found themselves a home near the edge lines of the zone. But North Esports for now, I would say they are the only team that are the closest to the center. What do you think so from here, where the circle might just shift? I feel like the circle is going to be shifting down south because that's where the most open ground is.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly where it has sort of shifted, right? Again, I would still say if the players of Ivy can take over those hills, it's going to be really rough terrain if they can do that. But before they, I can see Team NFP Sky just dashing in through that spot. They would want to keep it for themselves. We've got a west inside cluster being formed up. You know, North Esports, you've got the big guns, TUF, even UNBNF is right on their tail. But Crown Holders, well, the Marauder has just exploded and they need to somehow, you know, recuperate under these circumstances. And going up against BYP, it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be really interesting. Then you also have Edgar finding himself a headshot with that Mini 14 coming in through. I would say that has to be one of the best DMRs in the game for now. But, I mean, yeah, of course you do have MK14, but yeah, that's what you get in the care packages. You know, you don't really find that over here. SLR is great as well, but not really a lot of teams like to use that. Mini 14 is heavily used up till now. Things are looking definitely quite good, but Ocean again going down. What is wrong?
I mean, I'm starting to wonder if
it's the name.
It's our friend Ocean, because you know, the competitive Ocean from Crown Holders. Well, he's back on full HP, right? So he's happy to be over there, and you know, Ocean does sometimes make plays, well, would just question. But himself, now let's not make it about Ocean himself, he would be shouting otherwise. But now, coming down to the fight in hand, we've got Sugar Daddy. We haven't really been talking a lot about him.
Because
Really popular amongst the ladies, I believe.
he just hasn't had any poppy players to actually talk about him. Like,
Yep.
he has been pretty silent. But yeah, I mean, as you did mention, it does seem like, yeah, he is quite popular amongst the ladies. And yeah, if you're in his foot, maybe that's all you need. But here you do have crown holders now. They do have nade in his hands. And oh, that nade might just be close. Yeah, it was. Does connect onto Klaus, but hey, moves out in the nick of time. So Frost are looking decent for now. Cruel, though, getting shot at from the back lines, exposing his back completely to so much damage. Brown again spotting it out. I would say Brown has some eagle eyes at that point because he's doing a great job. But hey, you also have BYP striking again, getting those kills for themselves. Apex slowly and steadily crumbling down. Not really able to fight back in this situation. Lord as well trying his best to kind of keep himself alive. But hey, X-Man just has so much pressure on his shoulders. He needs to make something happen. Sugar Daddy as well all the way from the back lines, pushing it forward. It seems like X-Man, well, he will be taken out. Now you also do have Lord in the back lines from the side of BYP. And they have managed to wipe out the complete squad there. So that's quite big. And Apex, I mean, yeah, things are definitely not looking good. And like at this point in time, I can't even say that they're the Apex Predators.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the way they kind of got pushed in by the boys from BYP, we certainly do know that they've got that potential, and now they sort of are stepping up. But Quraysh, any single moment against Team Ivy, and we do know Dr. Fate has proven his worth. We do know this play can be really deadly, but this sort of again questions in fact comes down to where on earth is KSF. I've been really missing out on that lad, and had he been there, Ivy could have had even better performances. Of course, had a really good start in today's game, but Quraysh missing out on the buy, one of those really important players.
Yeah, as you did mention, missing out on those important players to buy. You do not need to miss on that lad. I feel like he is one of those players who does help his fraggers of the team to kind of set themselves up for succession. But again, now QE, some hacks being loaded from both the sides, but nothing really critical happening here. Flex, though, they have managed to connect a few shots onto Bilal. And wow, that's actually quite interesting. Just a little pixel being exposed from the side of Bilal, and he actually did get shot at.
Yeah.
How?
I mean, you know, there are things that science really cannot explain. But now, Klaus, well, he's going to take some shots at Lord. And still, Lord gets taken down. Team Frost again being very aggressive now. Team BYP not in the best of positions, being pincered down by two different squads. We've got 920 and Frost, both of them chiming in. Old Boy and Lord, well, they were surviving up until now. And Team Frost has had a really good start over here. The way they are pushing on squads, they're looking really confident. And this is where the aggression sort of helps you, right? You're really confident while you're pushing a team. But now, 1920 being right beside Team Frost. Now, the question still remains, are they going to take this fight or just leave it be?
I feel like if I was in their shoes, I would just let it be, honestly, because taking any fights, that also means a lot of damage will be instilled on yourself as well, unless you just completely make each and every single thing happen flawlessly. Then only a flawless execution can be seen, but, well, chances of that happening are pretty minimal, so I would say no. Challenging a fight, at least for now, I would pretty much try and prefer these teammates to go for that safer play inside the game. Teams gotta have all their players alive. That's gonna be helping them so much in the future lines as well, as they are spread out from each other. This is absolutely great. Now, the way Team Sky is playing here, yeah, I would say that 2-2 split is definitely coming in through, but they are still really close to the rest too. And this really reminds me of the gameplay of Zeus from inside of in the PMPL that we saw.
Absolutely. Now, you know, drawing comparisons with Zeus, I like that. You know, this is one of those teams that kind of loves to play around the edges, and once they get that right moment, that is where even the likes of Zeus sort of go in for the center, right? They kind of dash in inside the circle. They do not really care what lies ahead of them. But now, well, taking a look at Team Frost, they've had a really good start. The boys are feeling themselves, but again, this is where things go down for them, right? They go for such a push which they aren't supposed to go, and either they get blowed up or something really happens, and there you have it, right? Again, those same mistakes being repeated, and North is one of those teams that will 100% punish you, and one after the other, the boys are definitely tumbling down.
Yeah, the boys are definitely tumbling down, but the trades are happening back and forth. So many teams are on that receiving end just because they're actually being sandwiched by two sides. Same thing goes with Frost as well over here. They're also being sandwiched from the side of TUF. From the backlines, you also do have Arsenal, and unfortunately, that's going to be it. The final man, the final nail being put in the coffin. North Esports as well unleashing hell on the lads of Frost. At the same time, TF as well have their eyes locked on the side of Frost. Same thing goes to Execute. The last man is alive. That's going to be Avenger again, if I'm not wrong. And unfortunately, Execute now as well. I mean, things really not looking good on their side. North, though, I gotta say, as always, they have had one of the best positions inside the game. Same thing went in the previous game as well, and now as well, they have such a great positioning, kind of opted out for themselves. It just really comes down to if they're actually able to utilize it to perfection. On the other hand, teams like Team Sky in the close lines, as I did mention, they had all of their players alive, but unfortunately, KN pretty much went down. So now there are a three-man squad. On the other hand, you also do have Flex with all their players alive. So considering or taking a look at this kind of situation, what do you think? So which team has the highest chances of racking this up?
I mean, considering this particular situation, I really love the chances. Again, I must say on TUF, I think this is a game where they can get a back-to-back, and this is even this zone shift is even gonna further solidify their chances. And now Team Ivy, well, it's going to be a long run. You've got the players of UNBMS and the power of Edgar again stepping it up for his team, and will get the better out of the players of North, right? Now we've got Ivy going up against Sky. Now Sky's journey inside the circle is going to be really difficult, but we already do have crown holders who have sort of been eliminated from this particular lobby. With Coast being knocked out, they will have to get the rest back up on him, and I also have to make sure that he sort of safely gets inside the circle. Now Avenger did take a few bullets and then kind of hesitated. Do you think he does not have enough ammo?
Like over there, maybe he just realized that trying to play the situation out would probably be the best thing. Yeah, but as you did mention, that was kind of a weird situation to kind of hesitate out. So maybe, yeah, ammo might just be the thing that he's really worried about.
Usually you would go for a spray, right?
Yeah, you would definitely go for a spray. But yeah, in these kind of late games, right, you need to kind of realize that you have a limited amount of utilities at the same time, limited amount of ammunition as well. But hey, look at that, North Esports. Seems like they have managed to completely eliminate out Team Sky. A big team taking out the game, but take a look at their kill points as well. They have gotten themselves 11 points in total. I mean, Sky, it seems like they have had quite a great day, or great map, I would say, the map of Miramar. So Sky, my expectations was that they might just be able to rack it home, but as you did mention, easily seems like TF has the massive chances of actually winning this entire thing, because they have all their players alive, including North Esports as well, but we still don't really know North how things are going to be looking like, right? Because even up till now, how they've been really shown, you know, they do kind of tend to kind of choke in those late situations.
Yeah, well, they have been sort of famous for doing that, right? Now, well, with the way one of the players has gotten down, we do see Shishan out of the fray, as Adball will get the kill confirmed. But that sort of leaves Deadshot all by his lonesome, not really having the best of HP, and sort of starting to wonder for how long can he survive. But he can actually be a difference maker, but he's really fired very, very soon. Now Edgar is aware of his positioning, and any single moment, Deadshot, the moment he steps out of cover, he can either fall down to Dr. Fate, or maybe the boys from TUF.
Maybe the boys from TUF. But again, I mean, TUF now, seems like one lad has been taken out the game. The other one is knocked out. Things really not looking great. They're getting shot at from the left lines. They also need to worry about NFO here, which is Deadshot. Oh man, TUF have got themselves in quite a tricky spot. It just really comes down to how they're able to deal with it in the future lines. But NF for now, looking quite, I would say, yeah, I mean, just one last man alive. I don't really know what to expect, but hopefully they are able to make at least the best out of this situation that they have found themselves in, right? What Deadshot can actually do is try and stay anonymous, or try and keep on hoping for those astonishing plays. And especially when all these teams do decide to kind of fight against each other, that's when Deadshot can actually strike in. But considering the fact that I'm taking a look at his HP as well, it doesn't really seem like he has any meds.
Yep, no, that's really concerning and alarming at the same time. But look at this, airdrop coming in between all these teams right at the very center, sort of, trying to flaunt its beauty. The red smoke just going out.
It looks like a volcano.
Yeah, it's sort of inciting the players, right? Come and get me. And eventually, when you do, you're basically calling death. And
no.
Deadshot, I think
Not
he's
good.
pretty much done.
Yeah,
I mean,
the zone,
he's on
no.
really low HP. But now, North Esports are just getting hammered down now. Considering TUF, they've got to make their move. Now, Team Ivy, they've had a really consistent game, making it into the top 3 again.
I'm pretty sure Ivy are going to be so disappointed because they gave so much effort into getting that NF kill for themselves, but then in the end, he just got taken out by the play zone. That's just, I can understand their frustration at this point. 7 players alive, 3 teams in total. And, well, one ladder flex is right below Edgar, so he can pretty much try and get him down. But again, Edgar from TUF is trying to take the approach as safe as possible. Virus strikes in and pretty much spreads the virus amongst North Esports. Now just one last man alive. And let's just see how well is he able to do those things. And as I did mention, in the end moments, North Esports does kind of tend out to kind of choke in those moments. And this is what exactly has happened. Daku decides to strike in, but he doesn't really realize that maybe he should watch his surroundings as well. But finally, he does realize that there is someone in the right lines. And he does realize he should try and play these things out a little safe. Edgar strikes in on Dr. Fade, being taken out. And now TUF seems like they are in a really good position.
Yep, they certainly are. As Edgar decided to go in for the push, but eventually, he did get taken down, but no qualms, nothing to worry over there.
Yeah.
It was his teammates who sealed the deal, and a back-to-back coming out for Team UAG TUF. Now, this is where they're starting to, build up that lead, right?
Yeah.
Right sitting at the first spot with 23 points and 8 kills. I mean, a really good performance, we must say. And everything sort of had to again come down to the fact that they were really good on the rotations. They were not really aggressive. They waited for the right opportunistic moment. And once they had it, they never looked back.
I mean, considering the fact that we're already seeing such great teams out here, right? TUF, you have Clarity as well, and even some teams like Solo as well. And take a look at the MVP, of course, it's going to be Zameen from the side of North Esports. Now, North Esports, got to say, the consistency is being shown from their side. They're able to get themselves that positioning, but they're just not really able to kind of utilize the positioning for success. But yeah, getting back to my conversation. Now, in regional finals, of course, we do know Qwerty and I are the ones invited. So I feel like if TUF and Clarity keep on playing the way they are playing, they are definitely going to be giving a competition, like I would say tough competition.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, this is one of the teams you would anticipate and expect them in the finals at least, right? And then again, this is where they are one of those top contenders for the championship slot. I mean, to qualify for the PMPL. Now, Zameen, I've been talking about this lad a lot, and right now he proves his mettle, right? North Esports definitely not getting the chicken dinner, but in terms of improvement, they have done a massive job. 2 back-to-back games, they've been consistent, they've been getting some points on the board. This is exactly what you would want for them. And now, taking a look at the match summary, we've got the players of UAG and North Esports, both of them trying their level best. Now, not making it into the top 3. This is exactly what they needed.
Exactly, as you did mention, this is exactly what they really needed. Back-to-back, imagine the amount of adrenaline rush they might just be getting themselves. And it seems like Team Sky as well, they did get eliminated on, pretty much I would say, they got eliminated as soon as the late game kind of phases started. And they did manage to kind of rack themselves up 11 points, 4 placement points for themselves and 7 kills. That's going to be keeping them on 11 points in total. Then you also do have 19-20 coming in on the latter half of the match rankings. You also have crown holders, you also have QE, and then you also have 52x Rage. You have Golden Stars. This time the consistency faltered out.
Yeah, the consistency definitely was not there for all these teams, or maybe 120 is actually being really consistent, not getting a lot of points every single game. So that
shots
sort
fired.
of, I mean, it's not shots fired. It's just I have nothing personal against any of these teams over here.
Yeah.
But you still have to, kind of try to improvise your craft every single time. But yeah, I think 4 kills are going to help them out as we take a look at the Oppo F19 Pro moments. Now, this is where the conversation has to come down to Team Sky, right? Now, we have been we've been sort of critical about the fact that they get a lot of position points, but they surely lack out on kill points. This time, it was sort of, well, the other way around, right? They still ended up at the 5th spot, mind you. So that's something good that we would we kind of like from them, and getting those 7 kills is exactly the kind of morale booster that they needed. But they were really unlucky, they were just reversing around, had their minibus completely blown up, did not have a lot of options over there. But Team IP again, I mean, making it into the top 3, they have been looking really, really sharp. But this is where UAG, TUF are starting to look really deadly.
Yeah, they definitely are, and Wall North as well, getting themselves to 2nd place. That's a massive leap being taken from their side. And NF as well, all the teams that were from Group, I would say A and B, now have pretty much been taken out. Or I would say at least, Group A, you aren't really seeing that many teams from the side of Group A actually on the top of the boards. Yeah, you just see North there. But then the rest are slowly and steadily kind of crumbling down. Clarity as well pushed all the way back on the 9th position. Now that's a massive demotion if you talk about. But yeah, getting our conversation back on the Team Sky.
Right?
Yeah, they're not really playing because they are, if I'm not wrong, they are in Group C. That means we are going to be seeing them tomorrow because Group B and C will be playing. But then we also do have, if you talk about Team Sky, I would say, yeah, I was personally expecting a domination coming in from their side because if I remember in the spring split, right, last time that happened, PMCO, they made it to the regional finals and they also had 8th position with 148 points for themselves. So, I mean, domination was expected considering the fact that they do have a little experience, so I was expecting a little less jitters as well.
I completely agree with you. Of course, Team Sky is one of those teams that you would expect sort of big things from them. And they're sort of delivering on that. But it sort of takes time. I think today is the day where they're going to get their momentum back. But today sort of has again been the day where we're looking at a really confident North Esports. Now, the first day and the second day, if we can draw a comparison between these two teams, in fact, this one particular team, we're going to see a massive, massive difference with the way they have been playing. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be heading for a short little break because coming right after, well, is the map of Sanhok.
Here we go now.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? We've been kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are, of course, watching day number 3 of the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2021. The Pakistan region, of course, brought to you by Oppo F19 Pro hashtag Fook Up Your Fun. Now, heading along into the map of Sanhok. Now, we've got a streak going up, right? TUF back-to-back chicken dinners and back-to-back really good chicken dinners. Now, in Sanhok, we know it's sort of really going to be crazy if they get a hat trick. And what are the odds, Necro, that TUF can get a chicken?
I would say, look, in the map of Sanhok, we do know usually not a lot of big teams. But yeah, with that being said, let's first head right into the game because the voices in my head are telling it's the time to actually throw the game. So, hey, first, let's head into the game and let's see where the plane fly path is starting from. Camp Charlie ending towards all the way towards Camp Elbows. Pretty much a campy side. But now, getting back to the convo that we were having, I would say yesterday as well, we saw in the map of Santa completely a new team coming in through because, of course, we do know a zone-favored map. And I feel like a lot of big teams do falter out, especially when they are making those rotations happen. In the map of Santa, a lot of third parties do happen as well, so we don't really know what to expect.
Yeah, in fact, the last time we had Sanhok in the first day was Golden Stars, I believe. They got their second chicken dinner. But that was not with a lot of kills, though. So today, we're going to see which team, in fact, is going to be getting that chicken for themselves. But taking a look at things right now, so I'm really actually curious about where the zone is going to get formed. So Team Ivy has decided to drop off at Painan. We've got UNBNF. Now, this is one of those rotations that we've been talking about a lot, right? Yesterday also, they kind of pulled this one off. We've got Team Execute around that bootcamp area. And now Team Frost, again, they have been the most aggressive squad in the PMCO so far. And they haven't really shied away from a fight. And we've got another fight happening around the Paradise Resort as well. And this is a big one. Team NFP going up against 52 Rage.
Exactly. Team Sky going head-to-head against 52 Rage. Wow, Cairo. Well, hold on, buddy. Getting himself that barrel in the hand and already starting off this fray here. 52X Rage have positioned themselves quite well. They're not really moving out or making any kind of critical rotations happen. But like, take a look at the position as well that the lad of Sky has on him. And oh no, what? He did see him on his screen, but well, I guess he just didn't really see him on his little device screen there. And well, pretty much gonna be missing him. And these kind of mental awareness, you gotta have the map awareness all the time present in the game. And Halsey as well. I mean, this man is really good. You cannot let this man gain a lot of confidence, especially against your team. If you do let those kind of things happen, then yeah, things won't really be looking good. But I also do like the angle being created from the side of Faster. Did step in onto that little ridge. Halsey does know Faster is right behind that wall. Halsey as well taking things really chill for now.
Yeah, for now. It's sort of the waiting game over here. But right now, 52 Rage need to get that rest back on towards Hamzi. But Sky did not really have the kind of a start that they had anticipated. And Kathir being taken down, he needs to get patched up. But Ash is, of course, getting a different angle. And now Hamzi, he's sort of flying helpless over here. Kathir has gotten that rest back up. But Ash, well, does he have enough utilities to sort of contest for this particular fight? Now, Paradise fights get really feisty, right off the very get-go. We've got Zen with the 6 times.
Yeah.
And any single moment, he might just decide to push on. But I think 52 Rage are taking things a little bit slow because now it sort of all comes down to who makes the first mistake, right?
Yeah, exactly. It just really comes down to which team is actually getting caught off guard first or any kind of overstepping being made from their side. Zen, for now, it does seem like he is challenging the fight quite a lot. He's making those bold moves happen, but if he's just not really able to deliver with those bold moves, then I feel like they're pretty much down the drain. You gotta deal at least some damage, and Zen moves out in the open. Cairo was there to provide him that back of fire, but still no damage being instilled onto Ash. Ash looking great as always. On the other hand of the map, you also do see QE on that receiving end against Apex. X-Man's gonna be the one to find the opening. And take a look at that Frost as well in the clotheslines. It seems like that, well, that man close. He did try his best to kind of fight back, but Fighty this time just has a little bit more fight left in him. QE as well striking back against Apex. They're trying their best to keep Apex on their toes, or on their knees, I would say, but they're not really able to do so up till now.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the problem with Team Frost, right? They get too much on the plate, but right now it's going to be Faster who's going to be fighting for his life. Apparently, 52 Rage, they've started off really well, but the trades from Team Sky are also there. Now, Faster will, of course, want to get those kills for himself as well, the teammates. In fact, Ash is coming in. Now, in a 2v2 situation, it's going to be so much more exciting. Right now, Faster not having the best of HP, finally falls down to Ash, who would make no mistake in finishing him off right now. Now, this is where Sky needs to get enough time to get the players back up, and
That scared me.
I mean, well, he almost was raised back up.
Yeah, he almost was, but he did. Yeah, I mean, just like I thought that was probably a nade right next to him crawling, but realization that's not really the nade crawling next to him. Cairo being shut down while he did try to make that aggressive push happen slowly, steadily. What Rage, they are crumbling down. Zen is there in the close lines, but NFP Sky, it just seems like overall they just have a lot of control throughout this entire position, throughout this entire compound. But Zen, though, with a fantastic and heroic entry for himself, that's going to be opening a lot of things up. And take a look at the confidence being shown from the side of Hamzy as well. I mean, he was down such low, still pushes onto a guy who's on full HP and takes him out of the game as well. The confidence definitely on another level, but you do also have a little fight happening. That's going to be Quraysh Esports versus Apex. Let's see which one actually comes out on top in this one, because Quraysh, I would say they have been one of those teams that have their mark made on the overall leaders in the first page, so I'm expecting them to at least have a little edge, because considering the fact that they have been delivering pretty phenomenally up till now, hoping the same thing would continue. But the main problem here for Dubai, he's finally back in the game, so hey, it's great to see him, but the main problem here for Dubai is that he doesn't even have a helmet, and QE has already gotten themselves kind of in a little bit of problematic situation because they have a casualty on their name.
Yeah, they certainly do, and that's not the kind of a start Quraysh really likes to have. Now, Quraysh, the players, now in a slight engagement against Team Apex. Now, Apex, they've of course gotten that one player, that one kill, but now Quraysh, they're really angry about it. And what are they gonna do? X-Men, he has that barrel, the right choice of weapon, I must say, in Sanhok. If he can just control his sprays, he's good to go. But right now, I really feel that he could do a little bit better with a good position, because the kind of a spot he is in, he might get taken down from multiple angles. Right now, X-Men almost dead spot out Adi in the far fray, but eventually he's decided to kind of remain confined to his one little compound he has, not really stepping out, not really making a lot of movements. But Team Apex, they're sticking to each other very close. Now, considering the fact that I assume that Quraysh has no nades, this sort of helps them, because if they did have, they would have already lobbed them.
So you did mention they would have definitely lobbed them, but that's not what they've done up till now. Apex as well there in the close lines, QE in the front lines. Again, the fight between these two continue as all these players, QE as well, they're not really on the aggressive pace. Same thing goes with Apex, because Apex haven't really been able to deliver on the mark. So even Apex does realize there's a lot of things to lose, especially for them. So Apex, pretty sure each and every single move that they want to take should be calculated, and this is what they're really going for here. This is what they're really going for. A calm, cool, calculated approach inside the game, and Quraysh is just keep being a thorn in their way.
Yep, they certainly are. Now taking a look at how the zone has really formed, you know, heading a little bit north towards the Paradise Resort being the center over here. Of course, 52 Rage did somehow survive the onslaught. But TUF, well, they're still doing good. Now Team Ivy, they're going to take their own sweet time getting inside the circle as Quraysh again. I mean, this fight-up has sort of gotten down to a stare-down competition between these two teams. And again, we'll sort of pan down to the fact that which team makes the first mistake over here. And right now, let's see. Apex, every single player in that one little compound. I'm interested if the players of Quraysh can find a better angle, maybe they might just start punishing.
Yeah, at this point, it just really comes down to those angling, right? How you're able to find those cheeky spots or cheeky angles on your enemy lines. But for now, it does really seem like Apex and QE, like no moves being made. This is one of the most awkward situations I've ever witnessed in the game of PUBG Mobile. Like, I've never seen such kind of an awkward moment ever in my life because teams are so close to each other. They don't even have utilities to flush each other out, or even if they do, they're not using it, which is really poor. But again, I mean, right next to each other, not really doing anything. They're not even comfortable on loot, and the main key or instrumental fact here is that they're just wasting so much time on each other while they could have been out there looting because they just don't have a good loot in their hands. Flashbang being utilized onto Dubai, not really going to be affecting him much. Like at this point, even Apex, if they had stones, they would have been throwing that.
Yep, 100%. I mean, right now, this is where you need to give up. Someone needs to, wave the olive branch. Yeah, I mean, Quraysh really has nothing to contend, and at the same time, Apex are not really in any good waters.
So much time being wasted.
Yeah, so much time, and this is something that we would not want. But, well, as long as we do not see the next circle shift, I don't think anything out of ordinary is about to happen.
I feel like at this point, Apex, there is a way you can actually move out from the backside, Apex. Like, you don't really need to kind of stop here, you know? And consider the fact that even slowly and steadily, zones moving, and even the airdrop 2 is on the board finally. It's going to be the Groza, but Apex... Finally, we do seem like, it does seem like they're finally making some moves happen. But QE has managed to surround Apex all the way from the backlines as well. That means the breathing space has been completely cut off. Now, QE, I would say brilliant move from their side. On the other hand, no, Apex, poor management. I don't really know how, like, time management from the side of QE as well. And also when it comes to that positioning, they're not really realizing that they are getting surrounded from all the different angles. And QE, I feel like they are doing a great job keeping them on their knees. On the other hand, Apex, things are really looking kind of shy, or things are really looking bad on their side because even though they do have the man advantage in here, they just don't have the positioning. And I feel like positioning is really important more than man advantage.
Both these teams have wasted so much time, right? They could have spent on looting. Right now, finally, we do see a knock amongst us. And King, I think, would want to get that res. But this is a moment where Quraysh really need to start capitalizing. Because if they do not, I mean, every single time that they've been here, basically has been foiled. But X-Men just holding on the flank, making sure that Dubai does not have a good angle. Orochi trying to spot out Adiyam, and Adi in the meanwhile will get the second one. But Orochi with that trade. Now this is where Team Apex need to get those res back up onto towards their teammates, but barely having anything at all. I really do not like their chances as Orochi. Well, let's see what are the players up to. Money, he's gonna finally come down, and well, Dubai, he's gonna make sure he goes in for the cleaning job, right? Tossip on pretty low HP, and Orochi from the backline starts take down Dubai. Now it all comes down to Money, who apparently gets wiped out, and Team Apex, by the whiskers, somehow they've wiped out Quraysh.
Somehow, yeah. Somehow they have wiped them out. But I feel like over here, Quraysh just they didn't really stick to their
one
positioning.
After the other, right?
Yeah. I feel like if they utilize their positioning to the perfection, at the same time the communication was on point, they shouldn't really be in that kind of a tough thing, because you already do have someone on top of the mountain. You also have someone in the back lines. You also have someone in the sidelines, and still you do manage to screw it up, especially a team that is completely pincered down in between. The only advantage they have is the man advantage, and still, I mean, I feel like positioning is just really important more than having one man advantage, because if you just have a positioning with 3 players on a full squad of 4 players, I feel like that's just so key for the success of the team. 19-20, again, I mean, taking things really slow inside the game. Ivy, on the other hand, things again, I mean, Ivy have been doing really good. I would say decent throughout, but still missing some key factors.
Yep. But right now, Team Apex, they've still somehow managed to hold on to all their 4 players. They've gotten 4 kills, but I'm really starting to get concerned how on earth they're gonna get enough loot to sustain in those final circles. Now, taking a look at 9 to 20, I think it's Kudrat who's apparently spotted down the players of Golden Stars. Now, Team Ivy, they've finally made it inside the circle. They are looking safe. However, I don't think they've been spotted as of now, because right in front of them, they've got a squad. And that again is the Golden Stars. Not really at the best of the position. The lads right beside them, any single moment, they might get caught. So we've got 3 teams in the nearby vicinity. Everyone sort of waiting for the other to take a few shots. Now, Kudrat might actually spot down the players of Crown Holders. I think Eraser, there were a few shots taken at him, but he was in good covers.
Yeah, he definitely was in great cover. But Kudrat again. Raza does spot out Fatty. Nothing really critical happening up till now. And gotta say, I mean, in the map of Sanhok, we expected the aggression coming in through. And this has been happening even in other regions, not just here. In the map of Sanhok, like, you just miss out on so much action, I would say. Like, in the starting phase, you don't really see a lot of fights happening. But on the other hand, though, in the map of Erangel and Miramar, you just see a lot of early fights.
I mean, the only thing really comes down to the lack of teams over here, right? A 14-man, 14-team lobby, out of which 2 teams have been eliminated. So not a lot of people are there. So we aren't really seeing it being very clustered up. But taking a look at the zone, this is a dream circle for Team Frost, right? If the circle sort of shifts evenly the way it is right now, then it's going to work out for them. But Lewis, having spotted out Daku, to take a few shots, but it was with the QBZ. Had it been an M4, things could have been completely different, but Golden Stars finally facing the brunt out of the players of Alfie as AB. He's been burned, but at the same time, he's trying to put up the fight against the players of Crown Holders. Eraser and Blaze, both the players taking shot at him, and there you go. Finally take him down.
God.
But the grenade
Disgusting.
comes in from Oxy, will take him down.
Exactly. That was absolutely disgusting. Blasting it right next to his face. Oh my god, that didn't really look good. It did look quite painful. Ocean again being taken out from the side of Crown Holders, and Cruel as well. Ocean has to be one of those men who just goes down so early off from the side of Crown Holders. Like, he needs to find himself a kind of way to keep himself alive with the rest of his teammates, because that's what has really been happening, right? From the side of Crown Holders, he's the only one that has been the slipping key.
Now Golden Stars, well, 33 AK is going to take a few shots at the players of 1920 who apparently are deciding to kind of go in for the push. It's Rasa finally not trying to push in any single moment. You've got that player here, Blaze, out of nowhere. He gets finished off by Kudrat from a different angle altogether. But Rasa taking some massive amount of damage. I believe he's just going to heal up.
Yeah, definitely is going to be healing up. That's the best thing you can do. Old boy as well. Caught a nade, kind of lobbed onto himself. BYP Elites, I would say, looking decent. Three lads in the team. Most of the teams just have 3 players, right? If you take a look at Execute as well, BYP, Apex, 52XR. Yeah, these lads just have 3 players in the game, and 1920 pretty much enter inside the game with 3 players. But on the other hand, fights happening here and there. Sugar Daddy being the one to actually get firstly eliminated out from the side of BYP here. Execute on the receiving end this time, but BYP as well. Trades are happening back and forth. Trades are happening equally. BYP need to find themselves a way to at least get themselves settled in the game. But it seems like for now, they will be pretty unsettled as well. It's going to be the lads of EUG. TUF, they just have their eyes throughout the map. And they're not going to let any player who is at least sliding in the open, or at least trying to run in the opening, they're not going to let him slide away that easily. And what was that knock?
I mean, Raza is completely starting to feel himself, right? And I have no idea how could he just possibly enter in over there. But TUF still surviving. I mean, they've gotten 6 kills already. Now look at this curveball, right? It's going to heavily favor the players of North. And UNBNF also really have a good spot. Now for Team TUF to come in, they will have to face off against either Team Frost or UNB, maybe possibly both. But I really want to see this fight particularly pan out, Raza, in a 1v2 situation over here against Oxy and Louis.
Exactly. Circle in no man's land as well. He just sees a few teams moving inside from the edges. North Esports being one of those. But they're also on the receiving end from the backlines by 19-20. But the main problem here is that by shooting, they have gathered that tension on themselves. That means now, while moving, 19-20 is definitely going to be having such a tough task because North now are the Guardian Angels of the zone. That means 19-20, if they want to move inside, they will first have to at least find a casualty on the North. That would buy themselves kind of a breathing time. But on the other hand, 52x rage as well, unleashing hell, unleashing bullets, unloading mags onto the lads of IFE. Not really able to deal a lot of crucial damage. Dante as well is right behind that little wall. Cairo has found himself with 3 as well. So many teams are getting caught off guard in those rotations, and this is what it's about. Sanhok in those late game situations, Held completely breaks loose. 52x race as well. Race then is down low. He's taking a lot of damage from his zone as well, and no, he will get knocked out there as well. Such an unfortunate kind of an opening, and EOG TUF seems like they are having a great time in the game, but the main problem here is that they don't even have a cover for themselves, and Hamzi might just have a massive advantage inside this entire situation because he also does have a high ground for himself. But hey, the lads of TUF are pretty skilled, so we can't really say anything. Nade, oh no.
Kind of barely shy, but I think Edgar does realize that he needs to take him down. Initially has spotted him off, needs to switch his weapon.
Oh my God.
Finally taking him down, and
Missed
well,
one.
it was Edgar getting that kill, but now Edgar needs to patch himself up. And does he have enough time to res his partner? I don't think so, as North Esports now they've gotten in a collision course against the players of Team IV, and they're taking down absolutely everybody. Last 2 players surviving. Here comes the push coming in from Snow, and Adbol in really low HP needs to patch himself up. Now finally Snow's going to go in for the push, gets that first knock, but now he also needs to administer that first aid. But before that being said, well, Golden Stars Lewis gets the job for North Esports.
North Esports, well, they're looking quite good. They have the man advantage as well, and that's a great find. Peeks out, takes him out in an instant. North Esports now, they do have a man advantage, as I did mention. Top 3 teams alive. And well, NF, North Esports, things looking really great. And as I did say, talking about man advantage, now they don't have it anymore. Frost, NF, and North Esports are the 3 teams alive. North only has 2 players on the hand though, but Frost are looking quite good. This might just be one of those games where, as I did mention, you might just see those teams who aren't really able to get their mark on the board. They might just finally be able to, and this is what exactly is happening.
Look at so many players, you know, going in for the AMP. I'm loving it. I'm loving the transition from the players. Now, Brown just surviving with one of his teammates, Vortex, but passive IGL. He's bleeding right on his knees. The last thing you would want to is get to your teammates and sort of compromise their positions. But Costa, he's going to be trying to make that move in from the blue zone and has finally been taken down. Now, we're sort of in a 3v2 situation where it is again Team UNBNF going up against Team Frost. Brown and Vortex do have a diagonal position, but they will have to get it inside the circle. Now this is where I think UNBNF really flourishes, but if Pharaoh sort of gets taken down over here, things might just get interesting.
Things definitely might just get interesting. Brown taking a lot of shots and taking a lot of damage. Will be finally taken out with that AKM headshot. Brown out the game now. Brown out the way now. All things are down to Voltrix. He just has so much burden on his shoulder. It seems like, yeah, but I can already tell it that the game has been sealed by NF. And as I did mention from the start, Sanhok is one of those maps where teams that aren't really able to shine up, they get themselves that knowing, they get themselves that chicken dinner in the map. Sanhok, completely unexpected team striking in, getting themselves a chicken dinner. But NF, I feel like they have been one of those teams, they have had kind of a great moments, but up till now on the other maps, they haven't really been able to get themselves as chicken dinners, I would say. But now they finally do.
Yeah, of course. I mean, right after this game, they have propelled themselves to the second spot.
Yeah.
And we had been also, you know, talking about the Team UNBNF being one of those teams to look out for today. And they've finally delivered with a chicken, and a good run at that 9-kill chicken dinner. Now, what really becomes important is, like you said, the central shift. The circle are taking those curveballs towards the very end. There were very few teams that had the circle's advantage in the 6th zone, where we did see only 3 of them, and those were the final 3 contenders, right? It was UNBNF, we had got Frost, and then of course the players of North Esports. Now again, we are looking at a really consistent North Esports, and TUF sort of barely missed out on this one. But let's take a look at who the MVP is going to be from this particular game, and has to be Zen. I think commends to him, considering how he really held himself in that fight against Sky right off the bat in Paradise Resort.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Zen was doing a great job, I would say, in the team of 52X Rage. And finally, I mean, Sanhok again, a map where a lot of unexpected teams do, kind of do a great performance. And this is what 52X Rage as well has done, getting himself 4 kills and, kill, of course, damage being dealt is going to be 602, so all time of 1858 in total. Top players of that previous game in front of you, lads. Edgar has to be there no matter what. I mean, kills pretty much tied between him and Zen, but I would say damage dealt is a little less.
Yep, I mean, right now in this particular game, Edgar. Yesterday also we did see him shining in the overall kill leaders, right? I think he's definitely becoming one of those big names. And considering, like you said, the former squad coming in from R3D, we are sort of accustomed seeing them in the league stages of the PMPL. They could never make it to the finals, but the sort of improvement that they have shown, I really think they do have a possible chance this time to qualify at the very least right now. But to do that, you have to go against the big guns. First you have to qualify, then you have to go against the likes of QWERTY and I8, which is again a humongous task. But gonna take a look at the match ranking and UNBNF, North Esports. Now this is something that I'm loving from both North and Team Frost, right? At the same time, Golden Stars also being consistent throughout. Now UAG2UF might have been eliminated at the 5th spot, but still, regardless, they did get 12 points out of this game, which means they're further propelling their lead in the overall standings.
Yeah, UAG2F consistency has been there throughout the day. Even they got themselves 12 points, even in the map where it actually did kind of slip out from their hands. 19-20 as well. North as well, I would say, really consistent, but aren't really able to find themselves a chicken dinner, kind of choking it up in those end moments.
Yeah.
And that's what is really happening throughout the day. But hey, with that being said, I feel like I need a little bit of refresher in my memory. I want to see what exactly happened in the previous game as well. So let's take a look at the Oppo F19 Pro moments and let's find out how things really went down play by play.
And there you have it, right? The first fight just breaking out in front of us. And, well, Team Sky. It was a back and forth skirmish, right? Both of them getting their own set of casualties. But eventually, it was 52 Rage who came out on top. And now this is where we saw those stellar plays coming out of Zen, and out of which he did get the MVP in this particular matchup. But Team Apex and Quraysh, this fight did go for quite a long time. Now, Quraysh made a lot of mistakes considering the kind of a start they had, considering they've had an upper hand in this particular fight. I think it was that little hesitation before going in for the push and then not sticking together that sort of caused was the cause of their demise.
Yeah, that could have been the cause of their demise, but we still don't really know what was the exact reason behind it, right? But here we do have UAG as well. I mean, TUF in the end did kind of falter out, but hey, it's fine. They got themselves decent amount of kills, decent amount of placement points as well. And that's what you really need. Overall rankings, again, they are D1, and they have finally crossed the 100 marker as well. That means teams like Team Solo Esports now are going to be having quite a lot of climbing. I mean, I would say a lot of climbing there. They would definitely have to not let lose the upcoming day, because being in the Group B, and tomorrow Group B and C are going to be the one playing. So Solo, tomorrow is going to be the day of work.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is Team Solo is one of those teams that does have the potential to make that comeback. And considering the players that they have, we've seen a lot out of Khan, and every single time we witness a Khan in the Pakistani lobby, he sure is deadly. And this is possibly the 5th or 6th Khan I'm witnessing, and I have to tell you, every single one of them is really, really good. And of course, we know the most popular Khan being QWERTY's Khan. But now a lot of news around Khan 420. She's got that extra bit of that magical, the magical 420 number attached up to him. And now heading on. So Quraysh, we've we've not really seen a lot out of them. But 52 Rage, they're surely climbing up. Now, the kind of a start they had into this tournament, then we did see that dip, right? After just those 2 games, they were consistent. Then now, finally stepping up a little bit. But is it enough? That's the question.
I would say stepping it up little by little, no, because then you have teams like TUF gaining a massive lead over you, and especially if you are stepping up little by little, you never know, right? Even if the team from the bottom lines that are right below you, they might just like out of nowhere get themselves a chicken dinner, they might just rocket past you, you know, you never know. So I feel like slowly and steadily, you should only push in when you have a lot of confidence, especially if you don't really have a lot of confidence and you're doing really slow and steadily. Then I feel like things would be really looking good for you. But hey, there's a lot of things online. Of course, a lot of teams are new here, or most of the teams are new here, so jitters are expected. On the other hand, big teams like Portal Esports weren't really able to make their mark yesterday as well. But hopefully, you know, in Group B and C coming in the future lines, maybe they are able to kind of redeem themselves back up. But considering the fact that they were in the group kind of C and D yesterday, and they have only managed to get themselves 14 points in 4 matches fixes. That's a massive point loss.
Yeah, I mean, all right, let's just be believers, right? North Esports in their second day, they did it, right? I think Portal Esports can maybe possibly do it tomorrow. That certainly might happen, but right now, what's gonna happen is we are gonna be going for a short little break, because coming right after is the final game of the evening.
Here we go now.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2021. Of course, the Pakistan region sponsored by Oppo F19 Pro. Hashtag book up your fun. Let's take a final look at the schedule, the final map that awaits for us. So today's storyline, we did witness, TUF getting that back-to-back chicken dinner. But again, UNB no fear responded back in Sanhok. Now heading into Erangel again. Necro, which team do you think might seal this one off?
Well, honestly, I feel like in this one, getting back to your angle, I feel like this one's again going to be TUF. 3 chicken dinners in a day. Insane, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, that would be completely mental if they can secure that. But again, I mean, I'd really like the change of the zone today in the first game, right? Heading on towards Milta. Now you've got no rep towards Siverny. So right now, Team Frost, they're heading off towards the military base. And we've got another team right beside them. So which one is that? I think it's going to be Team Apex dropping off at Novripnoi. Now Team Flex.
Yeah.
They're sort of positioned at, they're heading towards Milta Power. So no really big changes being made. I'm actually waiting for the zone to get formed.
Yeah, same. I'm actually waiting for the zone as well because at this point in time, yeah, drop location is pretty much the same that we have been seeing throughout the Erangels. So main kind of curveball would be here, or the main kind of thing that would really make the players panic is definitely going to be that zone shift coming in through. Now, we also do have GS all the way on the Siverny side, kind of traversing across that area. So we did see the same kind of plain fly path in the first Erangel as well. Instead, it was starting from the top and ending at the bottom. But, hey, take a look at the circle shift as well, favoring the side of George Bull and the Big Boy Mountain. I would say a decent circle. And you already do have a team like QE under heavy attack. And it seems like NF, No Fear, are definitely showing no fear against them. QE, though, they do realize one lad is right next to him. And that burst from M16A4 is just making that work. And I said this, in close range, this can be really devastating.
I mean, it certainly can, but right now, what's even worse is the way Quraysh have been dealing against it. And
Oh my God,
Pharaoh, he looks so good, just
What?
constantly toggling that crouch button, and at the same time, just getting those bursts connected. I think one of the best plays, and Pharaoh applauds to this kid, the way he stepped up in this one. Quraysh completely just being crippled over here. And the numbers don't remain anymore, and it's going to be the last player, Money, who's apparently running for his life. Does have that S12K, I believe. Yeah. What are you going to do with that weapon?
Yeah,
possibly?
you can't, like, that's really useful in the close ranges. You can't really use that in mid range at this point. But I also do like that he's running around the beach, giving some good vibes. Some summer vibes, but unfortunately now he doesn't really have his teammates to enjoy with, so he's going to be one of those lonely people out on the beach, unfortunately. But then you have 1920 as well, sharing a same city with Team Execute. Well, Execute and 1920, both of them have had quite a shaky kind of a day throughout, so I don't really know what to expect from both the sides. But hey, one thing we can definitely expect is that maybe hopefully Team 1920 can step themselves up, because as you did mention, they do have an experienced player in the lobby, and one experienced player can change a lot of things.
Yeah, he certainly can do that. And now what we just witnessed from
First aid?
Yeah.
No, yeah, okay.
He desperately needs this, He desperately needs a lot of things. But considering the players of NF are on his tail, it's going to be so difficult. He needs to get the hell out of here. And somewhere down the line, they are in here for the cat and mouse chase. And Money, well, the moment he just crosses over, I think Nero pretty much is going to spot him out.
So you did mention pretty much the moment he crosses over, Nero will spot him out. And Sugar Daddy, on the other hand, your favorite player, is going to be finding himself an opening with that Mini 14. That's great. Pretty much cracking the skull open. And if again, well, they have managed to come quite a far way chasing Monty down. Monty doesn't even have a helmet to protect himself. On the other hand, I like the unity being shown from the side of No Fear. And take a look at that. Approaching the compound, I also do have some lads moving in from the sidelines. And I feel like, yep, this is it for Monty. I am really sorry to say here, but the QE has been eliminated early off. Mani isn't really going to be able to make it. Does deal decent damage on the Deadshot, but Deadshot is the one who is going to be pretty much getting that Deadshot on the money.
I think the MVP again, we all know who it is going to be. It's going to be Pharaoh, the sort of cojones on this lad. You know, he drops in, has no choice. You know, he gets that one little M16 and completely goes kaboom with that, and doesn't look back even for a split second, despite what his opponents have. And you know, in these kind of situations, this gun kind of becomes really handy. But again, I really feel like it's not about the gun. It's about the person yielding it. And that was a nasty one on Muqaddar. He needs to get himself back. He needs to escape from that area, and that's not the right place to be, you know, administering a booster over there. But Ash indeed has stepped up somewhere else, getting another knock.
Exactly. Now this battle was a 3v3 going in because Execute as well just has 3 players in the lobby. So, and same thing is with 1920 as well. They only just have 3 players in the lobby. But it seems like 1920 are going to be the one to pretty much make sure Execute are being shook off of this area. Muqaddar falls back, does realize he's down quite low, doesn't even have any meds to patch himself back up. So that's going to be such a problematic factor for that team. Execute, well, demand pretty much, they just start running away from 1920 because they don't have any other choice. If they don't, they will be pretty much like massive chance there is that they might just be taken out by 1920, and Raza is the one who's pretty much leading the charge at this point. And FP Sky as well in the front lines. Team Sky does realize there is some team on the patrol station, and that's what they have been doing. That's going to be Team Frost. They have found themselves a home for now, a temporary home or a temporary compound. On the hand, Team Sky as well, it seems like they're not really going to let Frost slide by themselves. So Sky has some dead eagle eyes locked on them.
Yeah, indeed he does. Now, well, considering this kind of a start for Team Sky, well, Ash has gotten himself on the board. He's got that 1 kill for himself. But that's just about it now. Taking a look at 1920, we've got Raza. He's just hovering around this Yasnaya area. Any single moment, he can get himself back into action. But now, well, the players of 1920 have been looking so lost, right? Only in that last game we did see some efforts being put up by these lads, but apart from that, nothing much.
Yeah, apart from that, nothing really much. So gas station is still the area that they have found themselves, and on the other hand, Sky as well, they have found themselves kind of the area near that. Sky, of course, it does make sense that they're looking quite good next to them. But again, Halsey is separated out from the rest of the pack on the same thing, or on the same hat. Another thing is happening here is that NFP Sky Kayan is also kind of separated from the rest of the pack, but he can also bring in some astonishing factor in the game if he does stop before kind of getting towards his teammates, right? He can just stop back and then maybe help his teammate out to kind of pincer them down here. But you also do see Raza again taking a lot of shots on to Execute, but not really able to connect those shots. Or a lot of shots are being missing from his side, so instantly does back off, or instantly does back into cover next to his teammates. Execute pretty much run away from the side of Yasna because they do realize that staying there cannot really be the choice that they really want to make here.
I mean, I'm kind of in this particular situation. This is where 1920 need to understand that they will have to get themselves out of here, right? There's no point, you know, engaging against the team opposite of you. And well, under these circumstances, it's all gonna come down to where the zone is gonna get, and it's gonna be really interesting. You know, at Rozok, you've got that hybrid circle. We still do not know where the circle is going to end. I mean, kind of 50-50 is what we're looking at. And this is going to be so interesting. North, of course, would want to secure the better of the Water City. No one heading towards Ruins, though. NFP Sky, they're making their rotation along with Team Apex and Team Frost. they're kind of left behind, but they will also be pacing themselves inside the circle any single moment.
So I did mention they will also be getting themselves inside the circle any moment. Same thing goes with crown holders as well. They have found themselves near the Big Bomb Mountain. That's what they're really doing, traversing around it. Pretty much finding themselves that Big Boy Mountain area being covered or being utilized. Airdrop 1 is on the board as well, and it's going to be the AUG A3. And, well, of course, with the level 3 kit. TUF again, it seems like TUF this time are on that receiving end. Thor is going to be the man who has been knocked out, unfortunately. And TUF, it seems like up till now, Sugar Daddy has been still knocked out. And if no fear, though, they're trying their best to confirm the kill. But I feel like this is where Deadshot might just be caught off guard for being so greedy. On the other hand, again, one more kind of casualty coming in on the side of NF. This might not just be really that great on their side, but BYP slowly and steadily closing in. They do realize that getting Sugar Daddy back on his feet is going to be the main priority for him.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is one of those fights that BYP are completely feeling themselves with Lord just pushing in over, taking down Deadshot in this process, and UNBNF, the kind of start they had, they were also looking for the back-to-back, but that sort of looks a bit far-fetched. But there you have Max coming out of nowhere, but gets traded off by Oldberg. Now Shazam needs to chime in, needs to come and rescue for his teammate, because if he does not, BYP, they're going to absolutely demolish the players of UNB over there. And Deadshot, you know, just surviving by a sliver. He's going to bleed out any single moment. Shazam's position also getting compromised. Now Old Boy is going to capitalize on that situation. God. And there you have it. Sugar Daddy entering in at the right moment will finish him off. And, well, there you have it. Team BYP getting a good squad wipe.
BYP getting themselves a great squad wipe, I'd like to say. Sugar Daddy, though, in the end moments, yeah, even though he was knocked out, his teammates did manage to get the rest back onto him. So Sugar Daddy looked quite great in the end and did strike him when his team needed him the most. The last man was being striking down from his side. Now, Kudrat from the side of 1920 Esports, he does realize there are some lands of flex out in the open, and there's just might be a chance that they might just find themselves an opening, because they do realize if they want to move forward, they need to find themselves an opening on flex. That would buy them a lot of time to at least get inside their vehicles and move out, because now the play zone is going to be taking quite a lot of damage on the lives of 1920, and this is where they have got themselves a go call. Instead, inside the Dacia, Rosa is going to be the man to lead the charge again. Without Dacia, he has the steering in his hands, but now instead, they kind of do not really opt out to kind of go with the, of course, go with the kind of tractor. Instead, they try to go a little bit off, you know, to try to kind of make that safe rotations, because they do realize there's like pretty minimal chance of someone being out in the open field. So that's what 1920 making a great realization. I would like to say a great kind of rotation inside the circle, at least close to the circle. But on the other hand, though, take a look at the circle shift as well, right? So fixes with this circle shift, there's such an mysterious kind of back being created, right? Because you never know if the circle is going to be shifting up top above, or if the circle is going to be shifting towards Rozhok. But considering the fact I've seen a lot of circles like this, I feel like there's a heavy chance that the circle might just tilt towards north. But that's just what I think. What do you think?
I would love to see the circle tilting towards north. I mean, we would all love that, right? But considering this particular shift, I believe it's gonna stay maybe in Rozhok. That's where TUF are. And if it does stay in Rozhok, then I think we're calling for a third for them, right? They are just that good. The second airdrop, however, coming in, it's the AUG. And I'm kind of looking for any team. Are they going to go for it? But look at Team Frost. Look at the rotation path that they've taken. Just a few minutes ago, we did see them around that military bridge, right, near the gas station. Yeah. They've gone all the way from the western side, taken that longer route, because they knew they've got two teams ahead of them. And a fight against Team Sky, that is something that they cannot really afford.
Yeah, Team Sky, they do know if they do manage to fight out, yeah, even if they are able to wipe them out again, still the damage will be instant upon them. The damage will be dealt. So that's what they really do realize. But take a look at NFP Sky as well. I mean, Ash is so separated away from the rest of the lads. I don't really know if I like this, you know. in itself. Golden Stars, they have their sights locked on the sky, and I also do like the way they're holding this edge lines of the zone as well. Kind of being the Guardian Angels out the zone. And Lewis is going to be the man to still kind of scout out the in 80 areas, I would say. Sky, again, with those rotations being made from their side, Golden Stars do realize there are a lot of teams in the front lines making those crucial rotations happen, or making those critical rotations happen. Team Sky, no damage being dealt upon them. I would say a great choose of path, or a great choice of route.
Yeah, now Team Sky, this is one of those teams, you know, that we had our eyes on, and well, they've delivered, but not much. You know, they haven't lived up to our expectations today. The way they've played in the first day sure was kind of lacking. But Golden Stars, I mean, they've done a fairly good job today, haven't they? The kind of consistency they've shown, and again, being in a really promising position. But this is sort of a gamble, right? Imagine, now this is the moment of truth, this next circle shift that we are supposed to be getting, which apparently has shifted away from them, which I believe is around those Rozhok Hills.
Yeah, as you did mention, the circle shift, it does seem like it is around Rozhok Hill, but let's just see even the map feed is actually displayed for us, because that's when we are going to be able to actually create like a perfect picture, right? How teams are going to be able to rotate inside the circle, what kind of routes they can possibly take, though. But Team Sky made a massive rotations happen, and I would say that's quite a big rotation being made from their side as well. But this is where they might just walk straight against Flex, and this is what exactly is happening as well. Ash does realize Dr. Fate is right in his front lines, but instead, harming them isn't really their main priority. Instead, finding themselves a home and finding themselves a shelter is probably the main priority here. Ash does realize he has spotted some lads out of the front lines. They try to take a little shots, but no connections found up till now. North Esports on the other hand, Crown Holders on the receiving end, and again, Ocean goes down first.
Yeah, Ocean going down over here. Crown Holders, well, again, one of those players being taken out, and TUF, they're so aggressive, right? They're gonna get all those kills for themselves. Now, North Esports have also lost out from Daku, who's apparently fallen down. Look at Virus's position, and 2 kills already. Now TUF are starting to look really, really deadly. Zameen has been spotted out by Thor. Any single moment, he might get that knock going in. But now, considering how the zone has panned out, now this is exactly we were talking about, right? If TUF gets the better of that zone, then they know how to win the game. But we've got another fight amidst us. That's going to be between Golden Stars and Team Apex.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be between them both. And we also did see in the kill feed, someone actually got ran over by a vehicle from the side of Golden Stars. So that's quite unfortunate as well, I would say. But it's fine, you know, unfortunate moments do happen in the game. So just got to learn to ignore those. North Esports again, separation being shown. 3-1 split is coming in from their side as well. Do have that one player on the flank side. Apex now finally fight breaking down between these lads. Golden Star again on that receiving end. One last man alive from their side as well. And take a look at Revenge from Ivy. He's taking such long range shots with the red dot, and he actually is able to connect few of those. So again, he's just trying to be as annoying as possible and just poking them.
Yep. I mean, Ivy right now, the players, Revenge, he's got a good position, he's got that good high ground, but what really becomes important is whether or not he's getting the next zone's support or not. If he does not, he's got to make his way in, and this is where the trouble really starts. And look at Fatty, he barely has any scope, just playing with that red dot throughout the map. And this sort of sometimes happens in the competitive lobbies, you know, 20 minutes almost into the game. Brown making that movement. Does get caught. 2 shots being taken over on towards him. And even his M4 is not completely upgraded. Does not have any sort of muzzle attachments on that. And hence that little extra recoil. You know, get that tag stock, even have a flash hider. It pretty much does the job. Now, I really like the positioning of Team Sky, Team TUF. And this is exactly the kind of a view that I really wanted. Now, look at this particular shift, Necro. The certain side of Rozhok, though, that little area has been occupied by absolutely nobody.
Yeah, it definitely has been occupied by nobody, but take a look at the hill as well. Hilly's side being occupied by one team, and for now they are definitely the king of the hills, but it just really comes down if they are able to convert that positioning into the succession, because North definitely is one of those teams that isn't really being able to do so. So hopefully a new team getting themselves a great positioning. At least expect greatness out of their side. Nate being locked in from the side of Kaon, but does realize another nade might just be coming in through in his direction. Backs out in the nick of time again, utilizing another one of his nades, and I'm not really expecting a connection coming in through from that nade as well. Thor lobs in another nade inside the house. Kaon is getting bombarded right now. His teammates are there in the clotheslines. Ash as well moving in a little closer to find himself a cheeky angle against the lads of TUF. These are the two top teams, or two best teams, I would say, from this region, going head-to-head against each other inside the PMCO. And of course, I do want to see a battle being breaking out from the side of Sky and from the side of TUF Miguel against each other. But take a look at Brown. What a ballsy rotation.
I really do not know what is he up to.
What?
And
He's a
how is he
psychopath.
still alive right now?
Maniac.
I mean, yeah, absolute psychopath from what we can now witness. What is he doing over here? And I'm just, if we could have a POV for Brown, if I could really listen to what's going in his mind, you know, and he has managed to find a safe spot.
Yeah, I actually want to see that in the
balls
Oppo
on this guy.
Yeah, I want to see that in the Oppo F19 Pro moments. I definitely want to see that. I want to see that big rotation being made. He's like, hello guys, bye guys.
It's just whizzed past, I mean, like 3-4 squads right in front of their faces,
Oh
and
my God.
nobody could, you know, dish any kind of damage. But again,
my God.
he's in such a spot and he's alone. His teammates have fallen down, and he's gonna feel lonely.
He's definitely gonna
sad.
feel lonely, but I have to say that was one of the most like funniest moments I've ever seen. Like, it's complete hell breaking loose around him, and he just drives between them, not even past them. He drives from the between, and it's just like nothing happening to him. Brown, like, he does realize his teammates are down. Now it's pretty much do or die situation, and that's what he does. But Apex, last man was alive. He will be taking out the game as well. So Sky does find themselves that kill. Thor being taken back up on his feet, so that's definitely going to be giving them a little bit of more comfort level, I would say. Or at least they should be giving them a little bit more safety cushion inside the game. TUF, Virus did spot some lads out of Sky. At this point in time, TUF and Sky both are waiting for each other to at least make any kind of rookie mistakes, and they can pretty much try and work around it.
But, you know, right now, what's going to be important, this is exactly where I was getting at. You know, it's now been soft in the circle, but we know, we're accustomed to see that shift, you know, where towards the very end zones, we're going to witness the circle ending out in the open. And this was the open spot, and 1920. Really nice prediction from their side. Now, they do stand to win this chicken dinner, and Fatty, well, being a little bit complacent, and has been punished for that. But of course, revenge is going to be there to get the quest back up towards him. And finally, Brown goes down. A valiant effort, though.
A valiant effort, yeah. A valiant effort should be given to him, though. Like, yeah, he has definitely won my respect. Like, he definitely has my respect without a doubt. He's going to be one of those players that I would definitely watch out for in a game. And that kind of rotation is what I would like really pay to watch, because that was absolutely incredible. Like, I'm gonna remember that throughout the PMCO. And here we also have some Molotovs being logged. Virus did kind of spot it out before though, but he's still on fire. TUF get away from your teammate. Drop and roll,
yeah.
But it seems like, yeah, his teammate has definitely dropped in, but he's knocked out, so he can't really roll now. But now, considering the fact that they've already found themselves an opening, this is where North really pushes inside the compound. This is where they're also trying to hold back, and TUF are doing a great job getting North on their knees, and North just walking one by one. Why do you need to do this? You could have first tried and set yourself around the compounds and then maybe try and work around it. But North again making those rookie mistakes happen and choking this entire situation, and TUF might just single-handedly drop them out the game.
But Darko still keeping his team in contention over here, as he's going to wipe down players one after the other as Edgar finally falls. But he is the lonesome survivor as the players of TUF decide to finally push in on towards him, and ESP on pretty low HP, but still will get the clutch. And I completely 100% agree with you. That'll push from North Esports' side, that was really good, you know, considering how exposed, how vulnerable the players of TUF are. But then the follow-up, that was absolutely missing. Yeah, I mean, they kind of lined up one by one, not really going in from different directions. That is where they sort of got overwhelmed. But Raza, will get the better out of Cairo. Now, they were the king of the hills in that particular area, but he definitely will get the revive. But I'm really interested to see where the next circle shift is going to be. And that sort of will say which team has a good chance in winning this one out. And North Esports, again, so close, yet so far.
Exactly. So close, yet so far. And Sky seems like they have the highest chance of winning this entire game because they have all 4 of their players alive. And you also do have a man like Kayan. We'll just try to scout someone out. He does have the high ground for himself. 1920 is the team that has the most high ground. But the main problem here is that the circle has shifted in the favor of Sky. That means even the stars are looking really aligned on their side. Now, Rage Zen, 52x Rage, does have some nades being utilized from his side that nade has made right now. That nade was cooked to perfection. Imagine if that nade was a little delayed and it wasn't really cooked to perfection. I feel like that could have been it for Muqaddar.
That certainly could have been. But right now, taking a look at the boys from Team Sky, we've got Kian. I think he spotted out Sen. He does know since smokes are deployed, there has to be someone. And a lot of information being actually given by the smokes popped off by all these teams. And now look at that little shift, right? This is where all these teams will have to finally move inside the zone. And this is all 3 teams for Team NFP Sky. But Team Execute trying to get in. Muqaddar was in the wrong territory, obviously, and 52 Rage coming in from the backline. Cairo is playing really well in this game.
Yeah, it definitely is. Bill playing really well. But again, I mean, it does really make sense, right? You want to end the day on a good note, considering the fact that this is the 3rd day, and you want to make sure in the 3rd day you're at least getting yourself your mark on at least a decent positioning. Because 52 Rage are quite close to get themselves back up on the first page, but again, things are really not looking great throughout the day here for them. They do have themselves 5 kills. On the other hand, 1920 still intact with 3 players. None of them have been taken out the game. But on the other hand, it seems like 52x Rage this time now. Well, on the receiving end, they will be taken out the game. One lad has been taken out. That's a great fight from Kian. That's a great spot.
Yeah, that is 100% great spotting. And Raza, ooh, it was the right prediction. But just spraying through the smoke, and he's wondering if he can get even one of those tracer markers. He's gonna go absolute ham, but 52 Rage, they're finally starting to close in. But Raza getting spotted off, gets knocked out as Alvi. He's gonna be the last survivor for 1920, and staying, inside the smoke. It's gonna be so devastating for him as Raza finally just shows himself, and he knows he's basically done. There's no chance on earth that he can win this one out. So a good game going in for Team Sky. Very close to the victory as Alvi has been spotted out, but Katir, look at him. His way to out in the open now has finally gained cover.
Oh man, the confidence being shown. I mean, it's clearly showing that NFP Sky are definitely a lot confident, but you do not want to push against a squad like TUF one by one. Watch out in these moments because Thor and his teammate can just strike in at any time. ESP as well in the backlines again. Does manage to take one out again. NFP Sky being handicapped, pushing one by one again. A problem has been shown from their side, and so unaware. What? How is the call not given away? Oh my God, miscommunication. Pretty much striking in hard against NFP here.
Yeah, absolutely, as ESP somehow he's still alive. I do not know how, but yes, he's been doing it. Now, Team Sky, they've been reduced to just that one last player, and Hamzi's going to push in onto it. Katir, who apparently was getting some boosts for himself now. This is the point where ESP is actually burning, but can he get the first aid on him in the right nick of time? Does he have the first aid? Where Cairo does exactly know where he is, and there you have it. 52 Rage out of nowhere. Nowhere, Necro. They've managed to get this victory.
That single miscommunication, a link broken, team synergy being broken, and that single miscommunication costing them that entire game. And if you talk about chokes, if you talk about one of the most worst moments, this is at its prime, being shown from Team Sky. Team Sky, no, you can't.
I mean, right now, I do not know. I do not know at this level of the tournament that we are in, if if it is actually going to be acceptable. Nevertheless, I mean, not a lot of points gone, but again, it was a chicken dinner, which they could have easily had for themselves. I mean, it was right in front of them. And it was just that one call. There is someone hiding inside the little shack. And had Halsey checked it, I mean, the players of 52 Rage, they were well aware of it. All they had to do was just lob one Molotov and he was basically done. But, you know, props to ESP as well. But right now, let's take a look at the MVP. Now, I've been telling a lot about Cairo. I would want him to get a MVP, but no, it's going to be Raza. Massive damage coming in, not a lot of kills reflected though.
Oh my god,
the damage is ludicrous. I mean, it has been the sort of the highest individual damage in the PMCO so far.
I wish we could see how many knocks he has got himself. I'm pretty sure he has gotten a lot of knocks because we are just seeing kills number in front of us, but the damage single-handedly makes up for everything here. 1920 entered in the game, and pretty much till the late game, they seemed really intact. Raza, it does make sense why is the MVP as well, but you have Edgar coming in as well with huge damage. I mean, huge number of damage gotta say throughout the game, because in the end, especially when those cities are the places where Circle do tend to kind of pan out, because imagine you peek out the window, you get taken out, your team is there, get the rest back up, you peek out again, get taken out. So that's how the damage really keeps on building up.
Yeah, and you know, even adding to that, Necro, I really felt that Edgar was playing really well today. Throughout, I think even when the kill leaders come up, I'm sure he's gonna retain his spot at being number one. But taking a look at the match summary, now this had to be one of the most exciting games of the evening that we certainly can call it, because the way these fights were happening, the way the circle shifts happened, right? For a moment we were sort of in a dicey position. Where is the circle heading? Is it going north or is it staying in the mainland? But eventually staying towards Rozhok, then again the question came up, you know, which side of Rozhok? And it eventually came down to that one little shaky area where we had it, and well, Team Sky completely messed a lot of things up. But a lot of other teams also made a lot of mistakes, especially North Esports and that one little push on towards TUF. Now look at these lads, 21 points again from this one little game, and they are further advancing their lead so much. I think all the 4 games they had played, they were so consistent.
Yeah, as you did mention, all the 4 games that they played, they were really freaking consistent throughout them. And consistency, of course, really good. I would say the first 2 games, Golden Star as well was one of those teams who was maintaining that consistency. But then in those later 2 moments, they just completely, you know,
we'll just take a look at the match rankings. You know, some little technical glitches being fixed over there. But yeah, I think I would really want to start off with how good that initial fight was. I think, you know, the way the players of UNB NF just went in with that M16, you know, getting those 3 kills. Pharaoh, he was absolutely, you know, ridiculous. But again, that is where we thought that, this might just be a back-to-back for UNBNF, but they really failed to do so, and eventually got taken down. Now, Quraysh really never stood a chance, right? Even the players of Golden Stars looked a little bit shaky. Team Frost, despite that humongous rotation that they went in for, eventually fell down with just 2 points. But, you know, props to the efforts, right? They took the chances. They knew, and especially Brown. had to be one of the most ballsiest rotations ever.
I would say Team Frost, I don't even care.
Staring into the eyes of death, right?
I feel like at this point, Team Frost is one of those teams. I don't even care if they show themselves in those kind of games. But like, I feel like if they just show themselves in their overall rotation, it's just really great to see. Yeah, this is how things really started breaking down, and already started breaking down with greatness. You know, even though Fiero didn't really have himself a helmet, still he was able to completely decimate the squad all by his lonesome in that final kill and the final blow over here, right here. Mani trying best to fight back, but unfortunately, I feel really bad for him. His team crumbled down in front of one single man, and especially against a gun like M16A4 in that close ranges. I feel like that isn't really something I would
See,
do.
no. It actually makes sense, right? M16, you drop off and you've got 3 bullets coming out from one burst, right?
Yeah.
Considering the damage that you get, 3 bullets means one without any armor. If you're getting pure damage, just with one burst, you're getting knocked out. So this is the sort of is really devastating. Now we know how good the bursts are, right? They've got it. It's even faster than the M4 or even the SCAR-L if timed to perfection. Now the only skill that you need is to control it, right? In those close range, all you need to do is press the tabs. It's like it's like an automatic shotgun. So as a result of which he did get the success. Now this is where things really were so shaky. I mean, somewhere down the line, this smoke even was a really bad decision, right? Halsey should have really checked those angles, but then again, Cairo, look at him. He was so vigilant before, going in, and went in, got the final kill. With that, sealed the victory for his team as 52 Rage have finally come up on board, and TUF almost 140 points.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. Overall rankings in front of you, lads. Of course, TUF. Almost 140, as you did mention. Then you also have NF right below them. These are top 3 teams, North Esports, and then in the top 5 you have 52X Rage coming in as well. I feel like in that massive game it really played a massive factor in the end, kind of get themselves back up on that 5th position. And I mean, talking about 1684, its base damage on without like no vest and no helmet is like 40.9.
I mean, right now, if you consider the points that they've earned for themselves, I mean, TUF, just on those 4 games, they've they've averaged, they've gotten 80 plus points towards the entire day. So if you sort of draw the average over here, 20 plus points every single game. So that is the way you're supposed to be playing, right? I'm looking at really some good competition, and I'm pretty sure the boys from I8 and QWERTY must be watching, and they will be taking their notes. They know they've got some fierce competition for these lads. Now BYP, this is one of those teams, well, I mean, they've sort of been really surprising, I must say, at the very least. At the moments where you think that they cannot do much, they tend to get some really good squad vibes, and again, they have to work out on their consistency. Haven't really seen a lot out of Apex or maybe 920 towards the very end, but again, today we are finally done with the games from groups A and D. Tomorrow we're going to see B and C in action, which really means a lot of teams are going to be coming back into the fray, battling it out, and there we have so many big names, right? It's going to be Portal, it's going to be the likes of Max, even now Clarity. Now Clarity, they've been looking really promising. We've also got the likes of ZARAR. So yeah, tomorrow, I think tomorrow's the day where I would really want Portal Esports and Freestyle and Max maybe to just pick up the pace.
Yeah, considering the fact that Max is really on the 3rd page, if I'm not really wrong. So Max are definitely not really looking good. Freestyle as well didn't really show that kind of showcase we expected them to actually show on the first day. So Freestyle expecting greatness as well from these second day, considering the fact Team Star as well is in there, Team ZARAR as well, Team Grounders and Clarity. Bubblue, of course, well-known name. I don't really need to talk about a lot from their side. But one thing I can definitely say is Pikachu seems missing in that roster.
I mean, I've been, kind of getting on Instagram a lot, and
DMs.
we've got a lot of people sliding into our DMs. Apparently, I've been hearing that Pikachu is unwell. We're gonna see him maybe in the finals, and they already have their PMPL slot confirmed. So that's a different story altogether. But right now, let's take a look at the kill leaders, where I'm absolutely expecting Edgar to be just on the very top, tippity top. Yes, there he is, and completely dominating. No one in close contention. I mean, Zibian, for sure, might just topple him over. Now, we've been talking a lot about Khan 420 and his heroics in the NC. Now, the OGs, Zibian is definitely one of those names that resonates with the Pakistan region, because he's been there since the very start. Coming in, 17 kills already, he's looking so confident. But Halsey, well, not far behind.
Exactly. And I mean, talking about the entire roster, right, that Clarity has, I feel like Wolf as well plays a crucial role in that team. But Now, as we did mention, of course, kill leader being in front of us. That shot is there as well from the side of UNB and F. No fear.
Yeah.
I mean, they have been showing quite a lot of no fear moments, but in the game, it just really comes down if it's working or not. But yeah, pretty consistency. But I feel like that's it for this tonight, right?
Yeah, that is all. I mean, the way these matches panned out has been a sort of a TUF day, but of course we did see those heroics coming out from No Fear and of course 52 Rage. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with all the matches for the evening. We are going to be calling it a night, and we will again see you tomorrow. So same place. Don't forget to tune in. Till then, take care and have a good night.
Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.